สวัสดีครับสวัสดีมาครับเพื่อนๆสวัสดีครับสวัสดีครับมาเรามาแช่งซิตี้กันเดียววันเนี้ยเพื่อนๆมาเพื่อนๆเรามาแช่งซิตี้กันใครเข้ามาแล้วฝากกดไลค์ก็แชร์ฝากกดติดตามด้วยนะครับสวัสดีนะครับพี่ๆเพื่อนๆทุกคนนะครับสวัสดีเพื่อน
Clean catch and will get Chelsea reset. Just rolled out to Shalabar.
มาเพื่อนๆพี่ๆใครเข้ามาแล้วฝากกดไลค์ก็แชร์ฝากกดติดตามให้ด้วยนะครับเรามาเชียร์บอลซิตี้เจอเชลซีนะครับเพื่อนๆ
I think the pattern is set here that Chelsea are going to have to sit in and soak it up for a while as Manchester City go through their paces. Of course, they were held, weren't they, by Sunderland? I was going to say at the weekend. It was. This is the weekend. That was a midweek fixture, New Year's Day.
มาเดี๋ยวเรามาดู11รายชื่อผู้เล่นตัวจริงนะครับของฝั่งเจ้าบ้านนะครับซิตี้นะมาในแผน4-3-2-1นะครับประตูเป็นดอนนารุม่านะครับคู่เซนเตอร์เป็นกวาดิโอกับดีอาร์นะแบ็คขวานะมาทิโอนูเนสแบ็คซ้ายโอไลลี่นะกองกลาง3คนนะมีไรเดอร์นะครับโรดี้เบนโดซิงวาตัวลุกนะครับฟิลโฟเดนชากีแล้วก็ริงเบลฮาแลนด์นะส่วนของเชลซีนะเพื่อนๆมาในแผน4-2-3-1นะครับประตูเป็นเจคินสันนะผู้เซนเตอร์เป็นชาลีบากับเบเนชิลนะแบ็กซ้ายนะมาริโอกุสโตแบ็กขวาอาชุนปงกองกลาง2คนนะครับมีลิเจมกับเอนโซเฟรนันเดสตัวลุกกันนะครับมีเอสซาโวนะโคพาเมอร์เนโตและหน้าเป้าเจ้าเปโดนะครับตัวสำรองนะครับของซิตี้นะอย่างโดกูลิโก้ลูอิสอาเก้นะครับแล้วก็เฮสกี้ก็อยู่กองกลางตัวสำรองของซิตี้ยังไม่ค่อยเท่าไหร่นะเพื่อนๆผมพูดตรงส่วนของเชลซีนะเลียมดีแลบมีกินเต้เจมี่กิฟเทนเจมี่กิฟเทนนะครับอันเดซานโตสการเนโชอย่างเงี้ยเพื่อนก็อยู่กันครบนะครับมามูดนี่ไปรับใช้ทีมชาตินะเพื่อนจอห์นสโตนโควาซิตเอนโซกอนซาเลสออสการ์บ็อกซ์แชวินโยนี่เจ็บหมดเลยนะเพื่อนส่วนของเชลซีนี่มาคูเลย่าโควิลนะครับแล้วก็กันเซโลลาเวียกันเซโลนี่ติดโทษแบนลาเวียก็เจ็บนะครับเพื่อนก็ประมาณนี้ฮะเดี๋ยวเรามาดูเกมกันเพื่อนยังเสมอกันอยู่0-0เหมือนเดิม
As it's played out wide to the right now for Bernardo Silva. He's going to take on Malo Gusto. No, he doesn't. He chips it back to the supporting Nunes. Back to Bernardo Silva again. He got back on side really well there, the Portuguese. Now Foden, edge of the penalty area, trying to link up again with Bernardo Silva. That was a third attempt in a row to play him in. On this occasion, though, Malo Gusto stuck to his task and lets it dribble behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, good for Malo Gusto. Tracks the run well and sees the ball out of play for a goal kick. It's really good defending from him.I think there's going to be a lot of that from City where the passes over the top need to be good. I also think as well they ought to just swing some crosses in, get Haaland up against Chalobah and Badiashile, see if he can win the ball in the air and see actually if Haaland can't win those headers, can somebody on the edge of the box win that second ball and shuffle Chelsea around a little bit. Bit too static for my from Pep Guardiola's side.
Chelsea
อยาก
again
กิ
struggling to get out of their own half.
โอ้ไรลี่เมื่อลิเวอร์พูลก็เสมอกับฟูลแลมแบบสุดปันเลยนะเพื่อนลิเวอร์พูลอะเสมอฟูลแลมแบบสุดปันเลยอะอุตส่าห์นึกว่าจะชนะแล้วมายิง 2-1 ได้ในช่วงต่อเวลามาโดนตีเสมอนาที90+7อีกเมื่อกี้ลิเวอร์พูลอะโอ้โหแม่งโคตรมันเลยประเด็นวิงนี่ก็ยิงได้อีกแล้วนะเพื่อนเวียดอะโอเคครับเพื่อนๆเข้ามาแล้วฝากกดไลค์กดแชร์ฝากกดติดตามให้ด้วยนะครับพี่น้อง
And then because Shirky's already slightly off balance from Michael Oliver, he's already playing advantage. When he then eventually gets brought down by Reece James, you have to give it a free kick. Maybe the Reece James one isn't quite a free kick because he knocks him off balance even more. Yet you have to pull it back, and I would argue this is a shooting opportunity. I get the feeling Phil Foden will probably look to chip this one in, but I certainly think a goalkeeper as under pressure as Jorgensen will be tonight, and as he has been in his Chelsea career, I think testing from this free kick opportunity.
Yeah, Chelsea have lined up a 4-man wall.
มา
João Pedro just
สวยไป
to get it all lined up there on the edge of the wall. Two options here for City from the free kick. It's Shirky lining up as the right-footed option. Phil Foden as the left-footed option. Although Shirky's run-up is pretty straight here. Maybe faking to
เนี่ย
cross.
ชากีแม่งเล่นดีนะเพื่อน
Towards the far post region.
ตั้งแต่โดนเป๊ปด่าไปตอนนั้นนะเล่นดีเลยนะปีก ตัวการตัวลุกทีมชาติฝรั่งเศสเนี่ยคือชากีเนี่ยไรอันสไตล์แม่งเหมือนในสมัยก่อนเลยที่ชื่ออะไรก็ไม่รู้ที่อยู่โอลิมปิกดิยงอ่ะเพื่อนสไตล์แม่งคล้ายๆกันเลยใครวะ
They just stop. They don't go with their men. Pedro Neto is saying, "You guys are lucky that Enzo Fernandez got a touch. Otherwise, we were in big trouble there."
First, Manchester City
ผมจำชื่อไม่ได้เฉยว่าใครวะเพื่อนที่มันไปโดนแย่งแฟนอ่ะ
It's going to be Ryan Shirky, 2 arms raised, puts in a low driven ball near post. It's going to be headed clear easily there by Chalobah. Bit of a chase on here for Cole Palmer, who gets to the ball, tries to play it down the line. He's claiming handball there, and the referee has sided with his claims against Phil Foden. Free kick to Chelsea.
นาบีเฟกีอ่ะเพื่อนๆสไตล์เดียวกันเลย
They've barely been in the City half, haven't they, with the ball so far? I knew as soon as Cole Palmer started appealing for that, I thought that's not a free kick, and it's not from Phil Foden. His arm is against his side. It couldn't be any more out of the way.
สไตล์ของไอ้ชากีของซิตี้ตอนเนี้ยคล้ายๆใช่แบบสไตล์ของนาบีเฟกีเลยเพื่อนที่เคยอยู่ลียง
doesn't cross the threshold for a penalty. Well, why does it cross the threshold for a free kick in that situation?
Totally agree. As soon as he blew his whistle, I thought he's been conned there, Michael Oliver, and the replay proved me right.
Anyway, Chelsea haven't got into the Manchester City half. They played it back.
เพื่อนเข้ามาแล้วฝากกดไลค์กดแชร์ฝากกดติดตามไปด้วย
Towards Malo Gusto. Good header comes in. Gusto wins the aerial challenge with Nunes, but then he loses out the second ball. And Reece James also a bit slack there, so City pick it up again. Tijani Reinders to Rodri, the register in the Manchester City midfield, just leaves this one to Ruben Diaz. He's got Josko Gvardiol square off him, and after exchanging passes with Tijani Reinders, he looks now against the same player, just trying to, I think they're just trying to move the Chelsea midfielders around. Are they trying to work out who's got the assignments? They've done pretty well.
อย่าลืมนะเข้ามาแล้วฝากกดไลค์กดแชร์ฝากกดติดตามให้ด้วย
Ball out to the right side now for Bernardo Silva. He's going to take on. No, he doesn't again. He decides to play it back, and a cross goes in too slow and too laboured, really, from City, from Nunes, and that allows Chelsea to clear through Esteban.
Yeah, I think City have got a bit of a problem here, where they're finding that Bernardo Silva is the player furthest wide on the near side. Shirky's been at his best this season when he's been on the ball wide right. I don't really like him tucking centrally. Foden doing it is absolutely fine. I like Foden picking up the ball in that pocket of space in between full-back and centre-half, but Shirky, I want running at fullback, and I want him running at Malo Gusto more than anybody. So I'm not a huge fan of Bernardo Silva being the widest of the players on the right-hand side. get him centrally linking up with Rodri, get Shirky on the near side, running at Malo Gusto, and get some deliveries into the box.
Thrown for Chelsea. It's headed back though by Rodri to Diaz, and now Shirky centrally, as you rightly said before. He's been followed around by Enzo Fernandez for the time being. Now he checks back out to the right hand side. Josco Gvardiol plays a pass to Nunez inside his own half. Chased by Neto. He's getting through a lot of off the ball work. The Portuguese winger got gloves on tonight. One of a few in the Chelsea side who've gone with the gloves options. As Chelsea again unable to stop that pass across defence for City, so they'll switch sides pretty comfortably with Rodri now in possession, looking ahead to where the movement is coming from. It's coming from Foden, it's coming from Tijani Reinders. He's not really
อย่างน้อยเสมอก็ยังดีเว้ยเพื่อน
interception here from Malo Gusto.
ถ้าเสมอนะอาร์เซนอลจะนำซิตี้อยู่6แต้มนะครับเพื่อนซิตี้จะคะแนนเท่าแอสตันวิลล่าแต่ประตูได้เสียดีกว่านะเพื่อน
Gives it back to Malo Gusto. Strong challenge comes in from Nunez and it puts it out for a throw. We played 15 minutes of this game at the City of the Etihad Stadium. Used to be called the City of Manchester Stadium, and it's still 0-0. Chelsea back in possession. Going back to their own half though, with Achampong. Short ball to Cole Palmer, and then back to two central defenders.
อันนี้เป็นโค้ชชั่วคราวด้วยใช่ไหมเพื่อนคารัมแม็กแฟร์แลนด์เหรอเพื่อนคุมเชลซียู22มาก่อนเคยคุมซาร์เทมตันยู20เคยคุมเชลซียู21แล้วก็ซาร์เทมตันยู21
Cole Palmer again. This is Chelsea's. This is probably their first attack in about 15 minutes.
ลอนสกาโดนปลดซะแล้วเฮียปลดไวซะด้วยอุตส่าห์พาได้แชมป์โลก
Yeah, that's frustrating for Festival, but it's not quite as frustrating as on the near side a moment ago.
ไปแล้ว
That really good interception. For some reason, Pedro Neto just doesn't run forward. Gusto does well to find Enzo Fernandez, but you can see as soon as Neto stopped that run, even though the right pass was to feed Enzo Fernandez, as soon as the Argentinian got it, he was going to have to cut back because there's nobody else to give the ball to. He was immediately surrounded by players in sky blue, and there was no chance for him to do anything with the ball. When Chelsea get the chance to come forward, and I know this is going to be a little bit foreign to them, but when Chelsea get the chance to come forward, they have to come forward with pace and directness, because otherwise City will just crowd them out. They're too good to try and
Yeah, Diagonal finds Bernardo again on the right hand side.
โคพาเมอร์ได้ครับ
Cross goes in early, headed clear by Badiashile. Now ball over the top, trying to
Estevao.
space there that Nunez space behind Nunez, but he makes
Cole
a couple of
Palmer.
challenges there, and a third goes in, but he's lost that third. It falls to João Pedro. Now support alongside him with two Chelsea players, but he just dwelt on the ball too long, allowed Rodri to get back in with the tackle, and he kind of saves the day.
Yeah, he does, and that's exactly what Rodri does best, isn't it? It's get back and make those recovery challenges and prevent the opposition from creating any meaningful attacks. Exactly. You don't want your pack full to be doing anything when you're a team like Manchester City. I just think, like I said, it's got to be quicker from Chelsea, hasn't it? And I think that's exactly what Callum McFarlane is just suggesting. The ball's got to move quicker and players have got to be more direct. How we've seen so little of Cole Palmer and Estevao in this game, I'm not entirely too sure. Maybe they should also try and test Nico O'Reilly over on that far side and see if Rodri can cover the same amount of ground over on the Manchester City left.
City again with Rodri at the base of the midfield, playing it out to the right now for Shirky, so Bernardo Silva's gone centrally. Shirky knocks back to Nunez, he gets it back again, former Lyon man. Chelsea got everybody back in a 5-4-1 out of shape formation. City have worked it across the pitch once more through Ruben Diaz. Square ball there to Josco Gvardiol, and now O'Reilly. Back to the Croatian. That's a poor pass though from Gvardiol, picked up by Estevao. Now the break is on for Chelsea with Fernandez. He's got Pedro Neto.
7 นาทีผ่านไปนะเพื่อนก็ยังโอกาสยิงยังไม่มีเลยนะแต่ซิตี้ครองบอลมากกว่าเท่านั้นเองโอกาสยิงยังไม่ค่อยมีเท่าไหร่เลย
The rebound falls kindly for City though. It was blocked though by I think O'Reilly as Estevao tried the shot. And the rebound didn't fall to another dark blue shirt.
No, it didn't, and it probably ought to have done. I thought it was Enzo Fernandez running onto it. I think he just hit it, and he must have got a call from Cole Palmer saying, no, that's his, and it never was. Palmer was too far away from it, but a really good bit of play from Pedro Neto down the near side, much more direct. I tell you what, that's direct from City. Here comes Foden.
Yeah, long 60-yard ball down the other end, picks out Tijani Reinders. Now he finds Foden in the penalty area on his left foot, still going Foden, big chance, and he hits them. Wow, hits it wide. He's claiming a touch, he thinks it should be a corner, but I think he's just missed a
เอา
pretty
เพื่อน
good chance there for Manchester
ไป
City.
ครับ
He's
ลุ
missed
ย
a phenomenal chance. I mean, that ball over the top to Tierney Reinders is a beautiful ball, and Reinders does brilliantly well.
อ้าวสวยเอาแล้วครับเอเซวาตัดได้ครับเพื่อนๆไปแล้วเอนโซเฟอร์นันเดสไปที่เปโดเนโตเนโตเนโตเนโตเนโตพาล่าขึ้นไปแล้วเปิดเข้าไปยิงโอ้โหไอ้เหี้ยไม่ได้เพื่อนติดบล็อกโอ้ยติดกวาดิโอ
Disappointing from Phil Foden when it comes to the final attempt, but this game's all of a sudden 20 minutes in and sparked into life.
Yeah, it was pretty tactical. The chess pieces were moving around, and now we've seen chances at either end. I should say it was Josko Gvardiol who blocked that Estevao chance moments ago.
Doesn't catch it brilliantly, does he?
No. No, it was probably just about creeping in between the posts, although maybe Donnarumma would have had something to say about that. But Josko Gvardiol made a good block, and at the other end, Phil Foden
เอา
missed a
ยิง
cracking chance
ยิง
to
โอ้โห
bring
ไม่ได้โฟเดนเกือบ
the attack again though, but Estevao closed down by Nico O'Reilly. City
เพื่อน
again. This stranglehold in midfield.
โอ้โห
O'Reilly
ลูกนี้
stayed
เปิด
down
สวย
the
จั
far
ด
side, and City might be
นี่
keen
ครับ
to
เพื่อน
pull out so he can receive treatment. Although
ไรเดอร์
back to
เปิ
his
ดไปให้
feet,
โฟเดน
moving round a little bit.
นี่ครับยิง
There to the linesman on the far side from Estevao.
อย่างว่าต้องชมผู้เล่นของเชลซีนะเพื่อน
City man, but
ทั้ง
play has continued. City have got nowhere with the
Mario
ball, blocking
Gusto
sideways and backwards.
เฮ้ยมาริโอกุสโต
Knocks it back again to Gvardiol.
เทโลบาเบเดชิลเพื่อนปิดมุมโฟเดนได้ดีมากอะ ไม่ได้ทำให้เล่นง่ายขึ้นอะ
Steal the ball. One shot apiece in this game, and we've just seen them in the space of 30 seconds, I think, maybe even 20 seconds, as City have the ball again, approaching the midpoint of the first half at the Etihad Stadium. It's still goalless. Manchester City had won 8 consecutive Premier League games in a row. They were ahead at half-time in 7 of those wins, and they were 2-0 up in their last 4 at half-time. So they've been pretty convincing victories, and they've been in front early and just dictated the play. This might be a slightly different story today. Chelsea are setting up very defensive, although there's a chance here for O'Reilly to get across. He plays it back to Haaland, and as he was about to pull the trigger, a challenge from Chalobah knocks it clear, but still City have an edge of the penalty area. A good tackle comes in again from Enzo Fernandez, and now Chelsea will break with Estevao. Good challenge on him, though, Gvardiol. It remains a bit of an arm wrestle.
Yeah, it certainly does. Excellent bit of play initially to get the ball through to Nico O'Reilly over on the far side. His ball in, I think, is pretty perfect, but credit to Trevor Chalobah. He reads it superbly, and he has to, because Haaland is there lurking, and, well, he's not going to miss from the penalty spot, is he? Or, well, obviously not a penalty, but from open play at the penalty spot, and it's a really important bit of defending from Chalobah. Fernandez as well does well inside the penalty area to get the ball away from Tierney Reinders, but City, I think, is starting to recognise that if they move this ball quickly through midfield, Chelsea haven't really got the legs in Reece James and Enzo Fernandez to get the bodies back in time, and that's going to cause the away side some issues, as Badiashile is now surrounded by 3 in light blue.
สวยเอา
Late there, actually, as he released the ball. The referee has stopped play for a free kick to
เอา
Chelsea. I think
ยังครับยังได้ไหม
today has picked an interesting team, but
สวยไปครับเพื่อนจะสวนแล้ว
this Chelsea lineup he selected. He selected intelligent players, tactically aware players. You know, I mean, I'm not saying that there's some players in the Chelsea. Well, there are. I know Alejandro Garnacho would be one. You know, he wouldn't be a one for this game, I don't think, because he's tactically maybe a little bit found wanting. But I think the players that Callum McFarlane has selected today are ideal for a game against the Guardiola team, because chess pieces move around. You've got to be aware. You've got to be tactically cute. And I think this Chelsea side are today. We reached that quarter point though of the game and take you through to half time. Now it's going to be Luke Ashurst.
Yeah, cheers. I think very much. Ball now in midfield with Ryan Cherki for Manchester City. Just go back to Mateus Nunes, who was made that right back position his own this season, hasn't he? Even though there was that, of course, signing of Ryan Aït-Nouri. Nico O'Reilly, of course, as well, making the left back position his own. Like City have got options.
เหลืองไหมเหลืองไหม
back positions. That's going to
โอ้
be
โห
a
เร
free
นัลโด
kick
เล่นแรงจัด
against Ruben Dias for the chance there on João Pedro. But both players have certainly nailed down the starting positions, at least for the moment or so. There's some interesting news has come out in the process of this game being played. Liam Rosenior has landed in London this evening, and he looks as though he's ready to take
จังหวะ
over
เหลืองก็ไม่ควรเหลืองอีกเวน
departing sort of not parent club but associate club in Strasbourg. As a ball to the box looking towards Erling Haaland. This headed away well there by Benoit Badiashile. Still the chances there with City. Looks to swing the ball towards the back post, Action Pong this time though heads away from danger. Rangers now trying to get away from Action Pong, goes one way then the other, can't spin away though from the teenager, and Action Pong is absolutely incensed that the corner's been given because he feels it should be a goal kick. The 19-year-old's absolutely adamant that should be a Chelsea ball. He's got to get himself back in position. He's stuck in his task well there though up against Rangers.
Yeah, he's played really well so far, Action Pong. I think he's, like I say, he's a tactically aware player who's obviously got some very good technical ability as well, and you know he's going to be tested today because he's the youngest member of this Chelsea back four, but he's stood up very well so far.
He certainly has. Opportunity now for Manchester City from the corner over on the far side. I think it's Cherky to take, raises his two arms, it's towards the back post. Rodri was lurking at the edge of the box, arrives late, headed towards goal, finds his way towards O'Reilly. And then his header is wide of the post, now to play for a goal kick. I knew as soon as the camera started lingering on Rodri, this ball was going to be aimed towards him. Gets into the penalty area completely undetected. Credit though to João Pedro, who
เอา
reached
ส
the
วย
danger
ไปนะครับ
of
ไรเดอร์
Spaniards.
ไรเดอร์
Yeah, it was
ไรเดอร์โอ้โหพลิกสวยจัด
Cherky got a little whip on that one, and it arrived, you know, pretty much perfect.
แล้วครับเป็นลูกเตะมุมฮะ
Rodri was really setting up there for a shot header. He was just basically trying to head it back across goal. So they're looking for a sort of second phase type of opening, really, Manchester City from that corner.
Yeah, absolutely. There's Malo Gusto now on the ball for the visitors. Let's go back to Badiashile, further back to Philip Jorgensen, who will feed Chalobah down the far side, linking up with Action Pong, who then plays in Cole Palmer. He's been brought down there by Rodri, and that'll be a free kick for the visitors. It's interesting to know, I can't believe I'm saying this, but the fact that Trevor Chalobah and Reece James are the oldest players in this Chelsea starting lineup is quite baffling, but I also think it shows quite a number of problems with this Chelsea side. I mean, you can't be going, I don't think you can get away going to Manchester City away from home with players with such little experience. I know that Reece James has played an awful lot of football, and players like Enzo Fernandez and Pedro Neto have been much more involved in senior football than their age would maybe suggest, but to me, you're asking for trouble if you go to a squad and go to City away from home, and the average age of your starting 11 is
25 ที่ผ่านไปครับยังเหมือนเดิม
That's a good ball down the line for Bernardo Silva. Chip ball into Haaland with a header, and that's taking a deflection off of Badiashile, out of play for a corner. Really good play again in midfield from Man City. Again, they're recognising to play the ball through the midfield quickly. Chelsea haven't got the legs to keep up. Rodri feeding Rangers well down the far side, and Haaland does well to win the corner.
Yeah, I was praising Action Pong moments ago, but on this occasion he does get caught by some great movement from Reinders, and then the decent ball centred towards Haaland, who
เมื่อหัวข้ามแมนยูก็เสมอแล้วเพื่อน
and then just can't quite head it down on target, although as you say, it took a deflection off the Chelsea defender.
Yeah, opportunity now for the ball into the box once more for Manchester City. It will be floated in by Cherky towards the near post. Haaland hit the deck, so there was nobody to challenge for it, and now Chelsea can look to try and bring it out for the back. Cole Palmer just kicks it straight against Phil Foden. He's then brought down by Cherky after Palmer wins the ball back, and I get the feeling to be one of those games for Cole Palmer. He does one thing wrong, then he's done
เฮ้ยสวยไปแล้ว
City go,
โอเดนเปิดเอาไว้มงโอเคไม่เป็นไร
on the counter attack, so we're not going to get booked.
Yeah, he's won a lot of free kicks so far, hasn't he, Cole Palmer? And I think he is almost in those situations quite rightly recognising that he has to go down. There's no point staying on your feet riding a tackle there because his teammates are not in position to attack. So he goes down, wins the free kick, reset. It's just the right thing for the team to go down and take the free kick then.
Yeah, absolutely. Ball back now at the feet of Benoit Badiashile. Will launch a long left-footed ball over the top towards João Pedro, who's come through the back of Ruben Diaz there, needlessly from the Brazilian, other than to bring down Rodri, and that's one of those where Rodri, I think, would be proud of one of those fouls.
Yeah, it's poor layoff from João Pedro, isn't it? And I think the games, you mentioned games kind of passing Erling Haaland by, he's passing João Pedro by as well.
ขออภัยครับมันค้าง
Man City have had 70% possession, so it's definitely more of a noticeable thing that Haaland's not involved in the game. But I think João Pedro needs to step up his work as well, particularly in sort of situations like that where he's got to put a good layoff back.
Yeah, he certainly does. Get Chelsea a bit of respite as they look to try and keep hold of the ball, but at the minute they're once again having to do a bit of defending as Manchester City are in possession now. It's with Cherky on the near side, held up well by Gusto, so we'll go back to Mateus Nunes. Nunes now just inside the centre circle for Diaz. It's half hour gone at the Etihad, by the way. Independent off-tube studio-based commentary. Manchester City 0, Chelsea 0. But here come the citizens trying to come forward. Gvardiol looking for Haaland and behind, poor pass. Not on the same wavelength with the Norwegian, and all the way back to Philip Jorgensen. Just a reminder, by the way, of the earlier games in the Premier League, in case you missed it. At Ellen Road, it finished Leeds United 1, Manchester United 1. Everton fell to a 4-2 defeat at home at the Hill Dickinson against Brentford.
เป็นอย่าง
Newcastle
นี้แฟน
United
อาร์เซนอลก็
beat
ยิ้มอ่ะ
Crystal
เพื่อน
Palace by 2 goals
ซิ
to
ตี้
nil
ยิงไม่ได้
at
อะ
home, with Tottenham dropping more points again at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as they draw 1-1 with Sunderland. And in the 3:15 game, well, it was supposed to be a 3 o'clock game, but it was 3:15. Liverpool drew 2-2 with Fulham at Craven Cottage. Ball in behind now for City, looking towards Bernardo Silva. Ball into the box is headed wide by Foden for the offside flag up against Bernardo Silva anyway. And there'll be a free kick to Chelsea. I think credit where credit's due. Chelsea done well to survive half hour at 0-0 up against Manchester City, but this is not a City side that are playing their best football in this opening 30 minutes.
No, but like you say, it's credit to Chelsea for not letting them play that football. We know they can play, and yeah, I think they've been obviously pushed back. They've been in a low block and looking to spring, but I think Callum McFarlane will be pretty happy with how this opening half an hour has gone. His team's still in the game, and they've got that opportunity, haven't they? When it's 0-0, you can maybe be able to catch Manchester City in a moment on a transition.
Yeah, absolutely. Ball played forward now for City once again as they look to try and drive forward. It's O'Reilly looking to try and get Shirky more involved once again. It's in the centre circle now with Ruben Diaz. Square to Gvardiol. Chelsea practically static at the moment, waiting to react to what Manchester City do next. Here is Ruben Diaz
ล้ำหน้า
to
โอ้โห
Shirky. Shirky now finds Foden. Foden for Silva. Bernardo Silva now back inside to fellow Portuguese international Mateus Nunes. Nunes now will fire it onto the near side for Bernardo Silva once more. It's one-on-one with Malo Gusto. Can he beat the Frenchman? He can't. They'll just go back to Mateus Nunes. He thought about the cross into the box instead.
ตอนเพื่อนครึ่งชั่วโมง
Moving
ผ่าน
forward,
ไป
laid off to Bernardo Silva. Silva with a lovely ball to the underlapping runner Nunes. Ball to the box, headed away well. Shirky then gathers it on the edge, but Chelsea win it back after a good tackle there from Pedro Neto. And long ball sent forward towards Estevao is easily cut out, and City will come back again once more. Here's Bernardo Silva. Feeds Shirky. Shirky one-on-one with Gusto. Gets onto his left foot, looking towards Foden. Pass intercepted well by Reece James, and Gusto is tasked with getting the ball away from danger. He's held up well by the former Lyon man, as Gusto will eventually launch the ball into midfield. It's headed forward there by Diaz. And Chelsea can just about deal with it. Chalobah with a poor pass back to Jorgensen, and eventually the Danish goalkeeper can get the ball away, but he just feels a little bit messy from both sides really. But I don't think either team has settled in an attacking sense whatsoever.
Yeah, certainly Chelsea haven't. They've hardly had an opportunity, just that one from Estevao that was blocked, so they've hardly really got into the Manchester City final third. City have had lots of possession around the edge of the Chelsea penalty area. They've not really played that killer pass yet, so it's just two teams really that are stopping each other from playing. Obviously Chelsea are stopping it with numbers behind the ball. City are stopping it by just dominating possession.
Yeah, they certainly are. Here is Bernardo Silva near side, linking up with Mateus Nunes, trying to work a bit of space down the City right. Eventually Shirky lets the ball run towards absolutely nobody. City have the ball back and can get it clear. Yeah, Chelsea, I should say, sorry, have the ball back and can get it clear. Donnarumma having to get to the home side restarted. Here's O'Reilly over on the far side, picking up with Joshko Gvardiol. Gvardiol now just going all the way back to Gianluigi Donnarumma. Donnarumma shuffling it over onto the far side now for O'Reilly once more. Chelsea now looking to step forward just a little bit and put a bit of pressure on City inside their own half, but City bypassed the press well. And Foden can now drive into Chelsea territory with a bit of space in front of him. Here's Tierney Reinders over onto the near side now for Shirky. Shirky almost getting away from Enzo Fernandez, but he's tackled well by the Argentinian, who on the ball has been really poor this evening so far, but off the ball, I actually think putting in some decent tackles and defending pretty nicely has been Enzo Fernandez's best part this evening.
Yeah, I think you have to put a big shift in, aren't you? No Moises Caicedo. It's a bit more work to do probably there for Enzo Fernandez, but he has been alive to most situations that City are trying to exploit, and he's moving, he's helping move his teammates around, pointing them where to go and stuff. So he's been a bit of a leader tonight, yeah.
Yeah, certainly has. Obviously, he captained Chelsea a few times, mainly in the absence of Reece James, who's had a torrid time with injuries over the last few years, but seems to have cracked the fitness goal so far. Reece James, that's a nice ball to the near side for Bernardo Silva. Gets away from Gusto initially, then for some reason cuts back onto his right foot, straight towards goal. Did it take a deflection? I don't think it did. He's just gone over the crossbar. He's taken the more difficult route there, Bernardo Silva. And fair play to him, he's still nearly found the back of the net.
Yeah, he's effective, isn't he, as a right-sided player, coming in on that left foot. You know, he kept the ball moving, kept the ball sort of, you know, fizzing round, so the Chelsea player couldn't put a tackle in. You know, he's got them off balance. He just never really got himself set for the shot.
พี่ๆทั้งหลายดูทรงแล้วมันจะเป็นยังไงบ้าง
Head in hands moment for Bernardo Silva. As Chelsea now going to look to try and come forward. Action Pogno just runs straight into the brick wall that is Rodri. And here he comes now, the Spaniard, inside the penalty area looking towards Phil Foden. The pass though is poor. Foden holds his hand up to apologise for not being aware to it enough. And Chelsea have the ball back once more. Rolled out to Gusto on the near side. Steps into City territory, pointing as to where he wants players to be. Links up with Esteval. Esteval now to Joao Pedro.
เฮ้ยเปนโดยิงเกือบ
Gusto back to Badiashile and Chelsea now.
ทำเป็นเล่นนะเนี่ยเพื่อนๆ
Fernandez back to Chalobah.
โอกาสยิงกันค่อนข้างที่จะน้อยแต่ที่สำคัญคือแม่งยิงไม่เข้ากรอบเลยอ่ะ
with Reece James. Now Jorgensen in possession. And he'll just fire it onto the near side for Gusto. He's forced to turn it around the corner first time, and he's pulled from Chelsea on the ball. Brings Simon in a second, because here come Manchester City. They moved it quickly. Haaland with the effort, deflected and tipped away from Philip Jorgensen. They played themselves into all sorts of trouble there, Chelsea. Opened up space for Manchester City. I'll be honest with you, I think it should be 1-0. I think Haaland probably should do a little bit better with that chance.
Yeah, it was a little bit sort of cumbersome, wasn't he, when he got the ball, and then he eventually gets it out of his feet. It hits the heels of Badiashile. It's actually tipped around the post. It's a pretty good save that from Philip Jorgensen. It might have been going just wide anyway, but he's got a full stretch out there and a top hand to tip it around the post, so it looks good for the cameras. But yeah, you've got to go back to what Chelsea did with the ball when they had it there, and they were just going backwards. There was no real positivity in their play, and it just invited more pressure.
Yeah, it certainly did. Foden now with the left-footed corner towards the back post. Gvardiol's there waiting. It'll be headed down by Rodri. In the end, they almost just got in the way of each other there, Gvardiol and Rodri, and in the end, neither able to do anything with it. Mateus Nunes is forced to put the ball out of play for a throw-in over on the far side. Gvardiol is absolutely furious with what's gone on with that corner, and I don't blame him, because he was a good ball to the back post. Gvardiol's just got to move out of the way, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think there was crosswise there, weren't there, in terms of the assignments, you know, who was blocking, who was meant to be going for that, and it just looked a bit of a mess.
Yeah, it certainly did. Either way, though, Chelsea back in possession. Again, looking to play slow and methodical football, and again, they give the ball away not once but twice. Reece James hits the deck asking for a foul. Mike Oliver says no. Here's Haaland now inside the penalty area. Left footed straight. Oh, it's off the post. I thought for all the world that was hit in the back of the net. But it's in the woodwork, and Chelsea live to fight another day. They really ought not to have done, but they've survived just about. There is a goal here for Manchester City in this first half.
Yeah, that's the Haaland we know more than the last bit of action. Cumbersome in possession this time, gets it out of his feet on his left foot, bends it towards the top corner, and it's just a coat of paint, isn't it? Really, that is. If it comes off a slightly different angle of the post, it goes in. On this occasion, it comes back out for Chelsea to clear.
I think that's exactly what he's saying, isn't he? He turns around as if to say, I can't believe it. I've hit the inside of the post and it's still not found the back of the net. It's an unbelievable effort from Erling Haaland. Chelsea, I've not seen a team play with this lack of intelligence against Manchester City at the Etihad for quite some time. I know we both agreed early on that it looks as though that Callum McFarlane has picked clever players, but when have you ever seen a team invite pressure from Manchester City in your own half? Every team that plays against City knows you have to play forward. You cannot dally on the ball. And at the minute, Chelsea are sleepwalking into a defeat. Shirky goes for goal from the angle. What he's doing there. He sliced across that ball horribly, and it's out of play for a goal kick.
No, they've had a really bad 10 minutes there, Chelsea, haven't they? And you know,
ไอ้เหี้ยชนเสาเฉยเพื่อนเนี่ยยิงโอ้โห
Four passes. You know, they've not tried to turn the Manchester City side at all. The ball's in behind. That was something that Sunderland did with decent success at the
โอ้
stadium
ไม่เข้า
quite a
เฉ
few
ย
years
อะดูดิ
today where, you know,
ไม่เข้าได้
they got
ยังไง
great
อะ
chance through Brian Robbie when he battled away with Ruben Diaz, just on a long ball from the back. Got him one-on-one because you know they were deep, and that was the ball to turn the City defenders. But we've not seen any of that from Chelsea. It's all short passes and backwards passes that eventually go back to Philip Jorgensen. He ends up then kicking it out to the flank. And they just turn it
เกื
over
อบ
in
เกือบ
midfield.
ไปแล้ว
Man's currently sat on the bench at the minute who's probably thinking this game is absolutely suited to him, and that's Liam Delap. You know, sometimes you have to look at a game. I mean, Delap's not in great form whatsoever, but you have to look at games and teams that have done well against Manchester City. And they play with big physical strikes. They'll break off because Reece James won the ball back. Brilliant. Palmer can't get it under control. Now maybe counter-attack opportunity. Action Pong with a really good bit of defending to stop that ball over onto the far side. And, well, again, Chelsea survive just
ฟาริโอเจ็บ
as it's on a knife edge at the moment. But, you know, I can't believe Liam Delap's not starting this game. Not mentioned Joao Pedro at all in a positive sense. That's almost a great ball through to Haaland. Still though, a chance now for Reinders with the effort. What a finish that is from the Dutch international. Superb from Tiani Reinders. It was almost a superb ball through to Erling Haaland. It was cut out well by Badiashile, but it falls to Reinders, and he makes no mistake. 1-0 Manchester City.
Yeah, the pressure tells there. The City have gone for the jugular with a ball aimed towards Erling Haaland through the middle. It's actually pretty well defended.
พอไม่มีการเซโร่แม่งเชลซีแม่งก็ดูยากเล่นยากนะเพื่อนไม่มีการเซโร่อะ
right foot then just feints to go with the right foot back onto his left, lashes it to the top corner with Philip Jorgensen no chance. So Manchester City, they have dominated now for maybe 12 minutes.
เอาคอมพอมเมอร์
Felt like the goal was coming and
เอาชิบ
finally
หายแล้วไง
Yeah, weak in midfield again, Chelsea. That's how they initially give the ball away.
โอเคไม่มีไร
doing enough in possession. It's a really decent looking
อ้าว
ball
เฮ้ยเสียบอลอีกแล้ว
Haaland, which is defended well initially
โอ้
by
เชลซี
Badiashile.
มันเสียบอลง่ายเกิน
Stop the effort from Reinders. He gets his feet in a muddle, doesn't he, Badiashile? And to be fair to Reinders, he's just patient. He waits for the big, stocky Frenchman to almost fall over before unleashing with his left boot. It is some finish.
Rider ยิงอย่างโหดเพื่อน
He's got absolutely no chance. Positioning, maybe could he step across a little bit further?
โอ้โหเพื่อนซิตี้ครับขึ้นนำแล้ว 1-0 หูไรเดอร์
Brilliant effort from him. Absolute delight from the
เย็ดเท่ยิงอย่างนี้เลยเหรอไรเดอร์
goal of the season. And well, he's having a terrific debut campaign for Manchester City.
Yeah, of course he's one of the players that's come back
เอาแล้ว
into the
เพื่อน
team
ซิตี้
today as well.
นำ
So,
1-0 แล้วครับ
they'll get his selection right today as here come Chelsea on the attack last few moments of the half.
ยิงเข้ากรอบเป็นครั้งที่2นั้นเพื่อนก็เข้าเลยเนี่ยเชลซีเล่นไม่ละเอียดเพื่อนคือเชลซีอ่ะ เชลซีเล่นไม่ละเอียดเองต้องโทษตัวเองอ่ะ
Haaland's been caught there. I thought the ball had been won. Free kick goes to Manchester City again. Chelsea messy in possession, and Haaland is just going to take a moment to get back to his feet here. We'll see a replay.
เล่นไม่ละเอียดเองก็โทษตัวเองเพื่อนเชลซีอ่ะดูดีเพื่อนยิงด้วยซ้ายโอ้โหไม่ใช่แหลกหรอกเพื่อนเต็มเลยอ่ะไรเดอร์นะครับกองกลางทีมชาติเนเธอร์แลนด์ครับเพื่อนไรเดอร์
Looks like, well, you can see now he's back on his feet and he's trudging back towards the striker position there, Erling Haaland. He's going to be okay, but I would imagine he'll probably store that one in his memory bank and maybe look to try and exact some kind of retribution later on.
ต่อไปโดพอไม่มีกาเซโดกลางไม่นิ่งเลยอ่ะเพื่อนไม่มีความนิ่งเลยอ่ะจริงไม่นิ่งเลยอ่ะไม่นิ่งแบบเด็ดขาดเลยเพื่อน
Just hold on to the ball for a moment before linking up with Gvardiol. Eventually the ball is fired over onto the far side for O'Reilly. Moving into Rodri, he turns it round the corner and feeds Reinders. Reinders then does brilliant well to find Haaland. Haaland now finds Shirky. Chelsea on the back foot again. Shirky, edge of the penalty. Can he make it two? It takes too long, but it's still the chances there. Reinders chip ball over onto the far side, looking for Bernardo Silva. Dealt with well by Malo Gusto. I'll be honest with you, that should be 2-0. City really should have made it. Chelsea pay there, and as Shirky makes a mess of it.
Yeah, the pass is to Haaland. It passes now to Haaland, and he doesn't play it. And in the end, Haaland runs off the pitch because he knows he's well offside. Then tries to rejoin for about the third phase of that attack. But yeah, Shirky far too ponderous in possession. didn't play the ball at the right time.
No, certainly didn't. 2 minutes added on at the end of this first half of the Etihad Stadium. Independent off-tube studio-based commentary. It's Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0. Tiani Reinders with the goal that separates the two sides. A thunderous effort at the near post to beat Philip Jorgensen. As once again, it's City with the ball now. Here's Rodri over to Joshko Gvardiol. Gvardiol will just chip one over onto the near side now for Shirky. Shirky controls it with his chest and will flick it to Nunes to get away from Esteval. Down the line for Foden. Here's
มาอีกแล้วโอ้โห
four options around him. They'll fire it into the midfield for Ruben Diaz. Diaz now for Gvardiol. Gvardiol down the line for O'Reilly. O'Reilly tempted ball into the box. It's blocked well by Achimpong. And out of play for a corner over on the far side. You'd assume it'll be Shirky to go over to take it and swing it with his right boots. An opportunity to get the ball into the box once more. Nunes is going to linger on the edge of the box with Foden. Shirky's in no rush to take this free kick. Corner, I should say, sorry. There's both Rangers and Rodri deep in conversation on the edge of the penalty area. Gvardiol towards the penalty spot as well. It's the play here for Manchester City. It's Haaland, Bernardo Silva and Ruben Diaz surrounding Philip Jorgensen. Haaland now makes a move towards the near post. It's towards the 6-yard box where Gvardiol looks to head it towards goal. Foden then won the rebound with his weaker right boot. He was always travelling away from goal, comfortably over the crossbar and wide of the post and out of play for a goal kick.
Yeah, Shirky's ball in was decent. Gvardiol's challenging for it, then it comes off João Pedro inadvertently, sort of knees it towards Foden. Comes at him just a little bit too quick for him to adjust and strike with his right foot well over the bar.
Yeah, and that will probably do it for the first half once this goal kick is taken by Philip Jorgensen. It's been a tricky first half for Chelsea, and there goes the half-time whistle. As I said, really difficult first half for the away side.
ดูดิซิตี้เตะมุมไป5 ครั้งแล้วอะน่าจะจบแล้วนะเพื่อน
But it's a goal from Tiani Reinders just before half-time that is the difference between the two sides. And at the interval, it's Manchester City leading Chelsea by a goal to nil.
Half-time at Etihad Stadium, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0. A goal from half-time at Etihad Stadium, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0. A goal from Tijani Reinders separates the side, but really City have been totally dominant in that half. Apart from one early opportunity for Esteval, Chelsea have done nothing in attack. Moments after the Esteval shot was blocked by Joshko Gvardiol, Phil Foden dragged his shot wide at the other end. There have been a couple of
เพื่อน จบแล้วนะเพื่อน
one of them comes off
ครึ่งแรก
the side of the top corner.
ก็ซิตี้นะครับนำ 1-0 นะครับก็ไรเดอร์นะครับยิงให้ซิตี้นำนาทีที่ 42 นะครับทำให้จบครึ่งแรกนะครับซิตี้นำไป 1-0 เดี๋ยวเรามาดูกันว่าครึ่งหลังจะเกิดอะไรขึ้นอีกนะครับเพื่อนๆแต่วันนี้เชลซีเล่นยังไม่ได้เพื่อน
City have been totally dominant in that half. Apart from one early opportunity for Esteval, Chelsea have done nothing in attack. Moments after the Esteval shot was blocked by Joshko Gvardiol, Phil Foden dragged his shot wide at the other end. There have been a couple of opportunities for Erling Haaland. One of them comes off the inside of the top corner as he tries to bend one in past Philip Jorgensen, the stand-in Chelsea goalkeeper.
เขาไม่มีการเซโดปุ๊บเชลซีดูเล่นไม่ค่อยดีเท่าไหร่เอาจริงๆเลยพอไม่มีอะไรพอไม่มีคาเซมิโร่เชลซีดูเล่นไม่ค่อยเป็นเลยแล้วก็โค้ชเขาก็
Chelsea have done nothing in attack. Moments after the Esteval shot was blocked by Joshko Gvardiol, Phil Foden dragged his shot wide at the other end. There have been a couple of opportunities for Erling Haaland. One of them comes off the inside of the top corner as he tries to bend one in past Philip Jorgensen, the stand-in Chelsea goalkeeper. But the goal came from Tijani Reinders, set up beautifully by a pass through, and he lashed it into the top corner at half-time. It's City 1, Chelsea 0. Half-time at the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0. A goal from Tijani Reinders separates the side, but really City have been totally dominant in that half. Well, apart from one early opportunity for Esteban, Chelsea have done nothing in attack. Moments after the Esteban shot was blocked by Josko Vardy. Phil Foden dragged his shot wide at the other end. There have been a couple of opportunities for Erling Haaland. One of them comes off the inside of the top corner as he tried to bend one in past Philip Jorgensen, the stand-in Chelsea goalkeeper. But the goal came from Tijani Reinders, set up beautifully by a pass through, and he lashed it into the top corner. At half-time, it's City 1, Chelsea 0. Half-time at the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0. A goal from Tijani Reinders separates the side, but really City have been totally dominant in that half. Well, apart from one early opportunity for Esteban, Chelsea have done nothing in attack. Moments after the Esteban shot was blocked by Josko Vardy. Phil Foden dragged his shot wide at the other end. There have been a couple of opportunities for Erling Haaland. One of them comes off the inside of the top corner as he tried to bend one in past Philip Jorgensen, the stand-in Chelsea goalkeeper. But the goal came from Tijani Reinders, set up beautifully by a pass through, and he lashed it into the top corner. At half-time, it's City 1, Chelsea 0. Half-time at the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0. A goal from Tijani Reinders separates the side, but really City have been totally dominant in that half. Well, apart from one early opportunity for Esteban, Chelsea have done nothing in attack. Moments after the Esteban shot was blocked by Josko Vardy. Phil Foden dragged his shot wide at the other end. There have been a couple of opportunities for Erling Haaland. One of them comes off the inside of the top corner as he tried to bend one in past Philip Jorgensen, the stand-in Chelsea goalkeeper. But the goal came from Tijani Reinders, set up beautifully by a pass through, and he lashed it into the top corner. At half-time, it's City 1, Chelsea 0. Half-time at the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0. A goal from Tijani Reinders separates the side, but really City have been totally dominant in that half. Well, apart from one early opportunity for Esteban, Chelsea have done nothing in attack. Moments after the Esteban shot was blocked by Josko Vardy. Phil Foden dragged his shot wide at the other end. There have been a couple of opportunities for Erling Haaland. One of them comes off the inside of the top corner as he tried to bend one in past Philip Jorgensen, the stand-in Chelsea goalkeeper. But the goal came from Tijani Reinders, set up beautifully by a pass through, and he lashed it into the top corner. At half-time, it's City 1, Chelsea 0. Half-time at the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0. A goal from Tijani Reinders separates the side, but really City have been totally dominant in that half. Well, apart from one early opportunity for Esteban, Chelsea have done nothing in attack. Moments after the Esteban shot was blocked by Josko Vardy. Phil Foden dragged his shot wide at the other end. There have been a couple of opportunities for Erling Haaland. One of them comes off the inside of the top corner as he tried to bend one in past Philip Jorgensen, the stand-in Chelsea
รอดูครึ่งหลังนะ
goal
เพื่อน
came
ว่า
from
ครึ่ง
Tijani
หลัง
Reinders,
จะ
set
เป็น
up
ยังไง
beautifully
นะ
by a pass through, and he lashed it into the top corner. At half-time, it's City 1, Chelsea 0. Half-time at the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0. A goal from Tijani Reinders separates the side, but really City have been totally dominant in that half. Well, apart from one early opportunity for Esteban, Chelsea have done nothing in attack. Moments after the Esteban shot was blocked by Josko Vardy. Phil Foden dragged his shot wide at the other end. There have been a couple of opportunities for Erling Haaland. One of them comes off the inside of the top corner as he tried to bend one in past Philip Jorgensen, the stand-in Chelsea goalkeeper. But the goal came from Tijani Reinders, set up beautifully by a pass through, and he lashed it into the top corner. At half-time, it's City 1, Chelsea 0. Half-time at the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0. A goal from Tijani Reinders separates the side, but really City have been totally dominant in that half. Well, apart from one early opportunity for Esteban, Chelsea have done nothing in attack. Moments after the Esteban shot was blocked by Josko Vardy. Phil Foden dragged his shot wide at the other end. There have been a couple of opportunities for Erling Haaland. One of them comes off the inside of the top corner as he tried to bend one in past Philip Jorgensen, the stand-in Chelsea goalkeeper. But the goal came from Tijani Reinders, set up beautifully by a pass through, and he lashed it into the top corner. At half-time, it's City 1, Chelsea 0. Half-time at the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0. A goal from Tijani Reinders separates the side, but really City have been totally dominant in that half. Well, apart from one early opportunity for Esteban, Chelsea have done nothing in attack. Moments after the Esteban shot was blocked by Josko Vardy. Phil Foden dragged his shot wide at the other end. There have been a couple of opportunities for Erling Haaland. One of them comes off the inside of the top corner as he tried to bend one in past Philip Jorgensen, the stand-in Chelsea goalkeeper. But the goal came from Tijani Reinders, set up beautifully by a pass through, and he lashed it into the top corner. At half-time, it's City 1, Chelsea 0. Half-time at the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0. A goal from Tijani Reinders separates the side, but really City have been totally dominant in that half. Well, apart from one early opportunity for Esteban, Chelsea have done nothing in attack. Moments after the Esteban shot was blocked by Josko Vardy. Phil Foden dragged his shot wide at the other end. There have been a couple of opportunities for Erling Haaland. One of them comes off the inside of the top corner as he tried to bend one in past Philip Jorgensen, the stand-in Chelsea goalkeeper. But the goal came from Tijani Reinders, set up beautifully by a pass through, and he lashed it into the top corner. At half-time, it's City 1, Chelsea 0. Half-time at the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0. A goal from Tijani Reinders separates the side, but really City have been totally dominant in that half. Well, apart from one early opportunity for Esteban, Chelsea have done nothing in attack. Moments after the Esteban shot was blocked by Josko Vardy. Phil Foden dragged his shot wide at the other end. There have been a couple of opportunities for Erling Haaland. One of them comes off the inside of the top corner as he tried to bend one in past Philip Jorgensen, the stand-in Chelsea goalkeeper. But the goal came from Tijani Reinders, set up beautifully by a pass through, and he lashed it into the top corner. At half-time, it's City 1, Chelsea 0. Half-time at the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0, a goal from Tijani Reinders separates the side, but really City have been totally dominant in that half, apart from one early opportunity for Estevao. Chelsea have done nothing in attack. Moments after the Estevao shot was blocked by Josko Gvardiol, Phil Foden dragged his shot wide at the other end. There have been a couple of opportunities for Erling Haaland. One of them comes off the inside of the top corner as he tried to bend one in past Philip Jorgensen, the stand-in Chelsea goalkeeper. But the goal came from Tijani Reinders, set up beautifully by a pass through, and he lashed it into the top corner. At half-time, it's City 1, Chelsea 0. Half-time at the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0, a goal from Tijani Reinders separates the side, but really City have been totally dominant in that half, apart from one early opportunity for Estevao. Chelsea have done nothing in attack. Moments after the Estevao shot was blocked by Josko Gvardiol, Phil Foden dragged his shot wide at the other end. There have been a couple of opportunities for Erling Haaland. One of them comes off the inside of the top corner as he tried to bend one in past Philip Jorgensen, the stand-in Chelsea goalkeeper. But the goal came from Tijani Reinders, set up beautifully by a pass through, and he lashed it into the top corner. At half-time, it's City 1, Chelsea 0. Half-time at the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0, a goal from Tijani Reinders separates the side, but really City have been totally dominant in that half, apart from one early opportunity for Estevao. Chelsea have
จ
done
ริง
nothing
ๆ
in
อ่ะพอ
attack.
ไม่มี
Moments
แบบ
after the
ไกเซโด
Estevao
ปุ๊บ
shot
อะ
was blocked
เช
by
ลซี
Josko
แม่ง
Gvardiol, Phil Foden
ปวด
dragged his
เลย
shot wide at the other end.
จริง
A couple of opportunities for Erling Haaland. One of them comes off the inside of the top corner
ๆก็มีไกเซโดเชลซีอ่ะไม่มีแม่งแย่
stand-in Chelsea goalkeeper. But the goal came from Tijani Reinders, set up beautifully by a pass through, and he lashed it into the top corner. At half-time, it's City 1, Chelsea 0. Half-time at the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0, a goal from Tijani Reinders separates the side, but really City have been totally dominant in that half, apart from one early opportunity for Estevao. Chelsea have done nothing in attack. Moments after the Estevao shot was blocked by Josko Gvardiol, Phil Foden dragged his shot wide at the other end. There have been a couple of opportunities for Erling Haaland. One of them comes off the inside of the top corner as he tried to bend one in past Philip Jorgensen, the stand-in Chelsea goalkeeper. But the goal came from Tijani Reinders, set up beautifully by a pass through, and he lashed
แต่
it
ลู
into
ก
the
ยิง
top
ของไร
corner.
เดอร์นี่มัน
Half-time,
แน่
it's
นอน
City
จริง
1, Chelsea
เนี่ย
0. Half-time at the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0, a goal from Tijani Reinders separates the side, but really City have been totally dominant in that half, apart from one early opportunity for Estevao. Chelsea have done nothing in attack. Moments after the Estevao shot was blocked by Josko Gvardiol, Phil Foden dragged his shot wide at the other end. There have been a couple of opportunities for Erling Haaland. One of them comes off the inside of the top corner as he tried to bend one in past Philip Jorgensen, the stand-in Chelsea goalkeeper. But the goal came from Tijani Reinders, set up beautifully by a pass through, and he lashed it into the top corner. At
ดู
half-time,
แล้ว
it's
เมื่อ
City 1, Chelsea 0. Half-time at the
ยิง
Etihad
สวยชิบ
Stadium,
หาย
Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0, a goal from Tijani Reinders separates the side, but really City have been totally dominant in that half, apart from one early opportunity for Estevao. Chelsea have done nothing in attack. Moments after the Estevao shot was blocked by Josko Gvardiol, Phil Foden dragged his shot wide at the other end. There have been a couple of opportunities for Erling Haaland. One of them comes off the inside of the top corner as he tried to bend one in past Philip Jorgensen, the stand-in Chelsea goalkeeper. But the goal came from Tijani Reinders, set up beautifully by a pass through, and he lashed it into the top corner. At half-time, it's City 1, Chelsea 0. Half-time at the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0, a goal from Tijani Reinders separates the side, but really City have been totally dominant in that half, apart from one early opportunity for Estevao. Chelsea have done nothing in attack. Moments after the Estevao shot was blocked by Josko Gvardiol, Phil Foden dragged his shot wide at the other end. There have been a couple of opportunities for Erling Haaland. One of them comes off the inside of the top corner as he tried to bend one in past Philip Jorgensen, the stand-in Chelsea goalkeeper. But the goal came from Tijani Reinders, set up beautifully by a pass through, and he lashed it into the top corner. At half-time, it's City 1, Chelsea 0. Half-time at the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0, a goal from Tijani Reinders separates the side, but really City have been totally dominant in that half, apart from one early opportunity for Estevao. Chelsea have done nothing in attack. Moments after the Estevao shot was blocked by Josko Gvardiol, Phil Foden dragged his shot wide at the other end. There have been a couple of opportunities for Erling Haaland. One of them comes off the inside of the top corner as he tried to bend one in past Philip Jorgensen, the stand-in Chelsea goalkeeper. But the goal came from Tijani Reinders, set up beautifully by a pass through, and he lashed it into the top corner. At half-time, it's City 1, Chelsea 0. Half-time at the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0, a goal from Tijani Reinders separates the side, but really City have been totally dominant in that half, apart from one early opportunity for Estevao. Chelsea have done nothing in attack. Moments after the Estevao shot was blocked by Josko Gvardiol, Phil Foden dragged his shot wide at the other end. There have been a couple of opportunities for Erling Haaland. One of them comes off the inside of the top corner as he tried to bend one in past Philip Jorgensen, the stand-in Chelsea goalkeeper. But the goal came from Tijani Reinders, set up beautifully by a pass through, and he lashed it into the top corner. At half-time, it's City 1, Chelsea 0. Half-time at the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0, a goal from Tijani Reinders separates the side, but really City have been totally dominant in that half, apart from one early opportunity for Estevao. Chelsea have done nothing in attack. Moments after the Estevao shot was blocked by Josko Gvardiol, Phil Foden dragged his shot wide at the other end. There have been a couple of opportunities for Erling Haaland. One of them comes off the inside of the top corner as he tried to bend one in past Philip Jorgensen, the stand-in Chelsea goalkeeper. But the goal came from Tijani Reinders, set up beautifully by a pass through, and he lashed it into the top corner. At half-time, it's City 1, Chelsea 0. Half-time at the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0, a goal from Tijani Reinders separates the side, but really City have been totally dominant in that half, apart from one early opportunity for Estevao. Chelsea have done nothing in attack. Moments after the Estevao shot was blocked by Josko Gvardiol, Phil Foden dragged his shot wide at the other end. There have been a couple of opportunities for Erling Haaland, one of them comes off the inside of the top corner as he tried to bend one in past Philip Jorgensen, the stand-in Chelsea goalkeeper, but the goal came from Tijani Reinders, set up beautifully by a pass through, and he lashed it into the top corner. At half-time it's City 1, Chelsea 0. Half-time at the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0, a goal from Tijani Reinders separates the side, but really City have been totally dominant in that half, apart from one early opportunity for Estevao. Chelsea have done nothing in attack. Moments after the Estevao shot was blocked by Josko Gvardiol, Phil Foden dragged his shot wide at the other end. There have been a couple of opportunities for Erling Haaland, one of them comes off the inside of the top corner as he tried to bend one in past Philip Jorgensen, the stand-in Chelsea goalkeeper, but the goal came from Tijani Reinders, set up beautifully by a pass through, and he lashed it into the top corner. At half-time it's City 1, Chelsea 0. Half-time at the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0, a goal from Tijani Reinders separates the side, but really City have been totally dominant in that half, apart from one early opportunity for Estevao. Chelsea have done nothing in attack. Moments after the Estevao shot was blocked by Josko Gvardiol, Phil Foden dragged his shot wide at the other end. There have been a couple of opportunities for Erling Haaland, one of them comes off the inside of the top corner as he tried to bend one in past Philip Jorgensen, the stand-in Chelsea goalkeeper, but the goal came from Tijani Reinders, set up beautifully by a pass through, and he lashed it into the top corner. At half-time it's City 1, Chelsea 0. Half-time at the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0, a goal from Tijani Reinders separates the side, but really City have been totally dominant in that half, apart from one early opportunity for Estevao. Chelsea have done nothing in attack. Moments after the Estevao shot was blocked by Josko Gvardiol, Phil Foden dragged his shot wide at the other end. There have been a couple of opportunities for Erling Haaland, one of them comes off the inside of the top corner as he tried to bend one in past Philip Jorgensen, the stand-in Chelsea goalkeeper, but the goal came from Tijani Reinders, set up beautifully by a pass through, and he lashed it into the top corner. At half-time it's City 1, Chelsea 0. Half-time at the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0, a goal from Tijani Reinders separates the side, but really City have been totally dominant in that half, apart from one early opportunity for Estevao. Chelsea have done nothing in attack. Moments after the Estevao shot was blocked by Josko Gvardiol, Phil Foden dragged his shot wide at the other end. There have been a couple of opportunities for Erling Haaland, one of them comes off the inside of the top corner as he tried to bend one in past Philip Jorgensen, the stand-in Chelsea goalkeeper, but the goal came from Tijani Reinders, set up beautifully by a pass through, and he lashed it into the top corner. At half-time it's City 1, Chelsea 0. Half-time at the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0, a goal from Tijani Reinders separates the side, but really City have been totally dominant in that half, apart from one early opportunity for Estevao. Chelsea have done nothing in attack. Moments after the Estevao shot was blocked by Josko Gvardiol, Phil Foden dragged his shot wide at the other end. There have been a couple of opportunities for Erling Haaland, one of them comes off the inside of the top corner as he tried to bend one in past Philip Jorgensen, the stand-in Chelsea goalkeeper, but the goal came from Tijani Reinders, set up beautifully by a pass through, and he lashed it into the top corner. At half-time it's City 1, Chelsea 0. Half-time at the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0, a goal from Tijani Reinders separates the side, but really City have been totally dominant in that half, apart from one early opportunity for Estevao. Chelsea have done nothing in attack. Moments after the Estevao shot was blocked by Josko Gvardiol, Phil Foden dragged his shot wide at the other end. There have been a couple of opportunities for Erling Haaland, one of them comes off the inside of the top corner as he tried to bend one in past Philip Jorgensen, the stand-in Chelsea goalkeeper, but the goal came from Tijani Reinders, set up beautifully by a pass through, and he lashed it into the top corner. At half-time it's City 1, Chelsea 0. Half-time at the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0, a goal from Tijani Reinders separates the side, but really City have been totally dominant in that half, apart from one early opportunity for Estevao. Chelsea have done nothing in attack. Moments after the Estevao shot was blocked by Josko Gvardiol, Phil Foden dragged his shot wide at the other end. There have been a couple of opportunities for Erling Haaland, one of them comes off the inside of the top corner as he tried to bend one in past Philip Jorgensen, the stand-in Chelsea goalkeeper, but the goal came from Tijani Reinders, set up beautifully by a pass through, and he lashed it into the top corner. At half-time it's City 1, Chelsea 0. Half-time at the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0, a goal from Tijani Reinders separates the side, but really City have been totally dominant in that half, apart from one early opportunity for Estevao. Chelsea have done nothing in attack. Moments after the Estevao shot was blocked by Josko Gvardiol, Phil Foden dragged his shot wide at the other end. There have been a couple of opportunities for Erling Haaland, one of them comes off the inside of the top corner as he tried to bend one in past Philip Jorgensen, the stand-in Chelsea goalkeeper, but the goal came from Tijani Reinders, set up beautifully by a pass through, and he lashed it into the top corner. At half-time it's City 1, Chelsea 0. Half-time at the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0, a goal from Tijani Reinders separates the side, but really City have been totally dominant in that. Yeah, well, welcome back. Second half is just underway at the Etihad Stadium, and it's Manchester City who kicked us off, and they have possession of the ball. Going back to Gianluigi Donnarumma. The big news at half-time is the Chelsea substitution, and a bit of a surprise to see Estevao hauled off when there were one or two others that were probably performing either as badly or worse. But Andre Santos comes on now. Andre Santos, an interesting player, midfielder, more of a central midfielder than a wide man. So this probably signals a bit of a tactical shift from Callum McFarlane. And of course, Andres Santos probably delighted to hear the news about the potential
ต้อง
next
เปลี่ยนตัวเชลซีอ่ะ
Chelsea
ไอ
manager because
อา
they
ฟิน
played
ปอง
for
อะไรสักอย่างอาฟินปองเหรอเพื่อนเล่นไม่ได้เลยเอสเตวาเหมือนกันทางขวา
There are any further changes apart from Andres Santos, but I think that is it. He's playing in midfield as Jorgensen tries to clear his lines. It's headed away by the Chelsea sub out to the right-hand side. Enzo Fernandez picks it up, tries to feed Pedro Neto. The ball might break the way of João Pedro. Now Neto's been slipped through by João Pedro into the penalty area. Wide angle, tries to cut it back, and it's well defended by a retreating City defender, and it falls kindly for Donnarumma.
Yeah, it's good defending in the end from Manchester City, but it's lazy in midfield. Pretty poor in the end. It's Mateus Nunes, who I thought had a pretty good first half. Just a lackadaisical pass back across, doesn't look before he plays it, but he does well to recover and put pressure on the cross to the box. But a nervy start to this second half from Manchester City. They were by far the better team in that first half. Chelsea need to be a lot better in this second half, and I'm seeing a bit of a tactical change this time because Trevor Chalobah is now playing at
ผ่าน
right
เพื่อน
back.
ครึ่งหลังเริ่มแล้ว
That's right, yeah.
Is that Chimpong moved to?
Bye,
They
พื่อน
moved to a back
ครึ่งหลัง
three. It looks as though they've gone to a back three here because I'm not seeing Malo Gusto.
Yeah.
So it looks as though Malo Gusto is playing as a right wing back, and it's a back three of Badiashile in the middle, Chimpong over on the far side, and Chalobah on the near side. That's a bold decision from Callum McFarlane. It has to be said. He's clearly trying to prove something this evening, isn't he?
Yeah, he's possibly going for the next Strasbourg manager. Who knows? There's a vacancy opening up there as Chelsea have the ball at the back now with Reece James, who's still playing in midfield. But yeah, definite change in formation here from Chelsea. I'm just trying to work it out still as to what the actual numbers to this system are. But here's Reece James in midfield. He's going to stay.
ก็ดูดิ
Looks
เพื่อน
like it's going to be a sort of 3-4-2-1 potentially. Yeah, I think it's
ๆอะไร
3-4-2-1.
กันไปหมด
And
เชลซี
the interesting two here that are behind the
เฮ้ย
lone
เอาหลุดแล้ว
striker, João
เอาหลุด
Pedro
แล้ว
and
ไป
Enzo Fernandez
ไป
and Pedro
โอ้โห
Neto. Ball cleared by the goal by Badiashile.
อุตส่าห์มีจังหวะแล้วว่า
The new right wing back is quickly challenged though in midfield by Gvardiol, who's gone down with an injury. This looks bad for Gvardiol, but play continues. Michael Oliver waves City forward, but they've lost the ball to João Pedro now because they played on. They're down to the downer man, and there's a big counter-attack here for Chelsea, led by Cole Palmer, who's got options to the left and right. Slips in Enzo Fernandez on the left. He tries a little Cruyff turn inside the penalty. Still going. And he sets up Pedro Neto. Skies a great chance from inside the penalty spot. What a miss that is from the Portuguese.
They had to score. They absolutely had to score. I mean, Manchester City will be kicking themselves. That ball should have been put out straight away. Immediately when Gvardiol hit the deck, his hand was up saying, no, I'm done. I've got a serious problem. City had possession. They weren't on an attack. It should have been out for a throw-in straight away. How Chelsea haven't scored from this scenario, I've got no idea.
ตายครับ
Enzo Fernandez should shoot straight away. As soon as he does that little Maradona spin, he should shoot and score. He then lays it off to Pedro Neto. He does well to feed Pedro Neto, but the finish is dreadful from the Portuguese international. It really is. Enzo Fernandez, I don't like this from the senior midfielder, saying, berating his man for missing, but I do agree with him, he has got to score, but you don't say that out loud. But this is a real worry here for Joshua Gvardiol early on in the second half. He's very clearly got a serious problem.
Yeah, I think Nathan Ake would be the most likely substitute to come on for him. Gvardiol is still lying sat down inside the centre circle. In fact, no, it's looking like Abdul Kadir Kuzanov, who is coming off the bench here, the former Lens defender. He's receiving some marking assignments now from the City backroom team, but yeah, Gvardiol's race is run. He looks to be in
เอาไป
bit
ไป
of trouble. I think it's possibly,
อืม
I was going to say a muscular injury, but maybe it's not. It could be a ligament, something like that. The physio's out. He's got his leg bent. He's obviously not liable to carry on.
Well, it would suggest it's not a knee problem, thankfully.
เอาหลุดแล้วไป
If his leg
ไป
was bent, then it wouldn't be a knee problem. The way he
เป็น
went
เนโต้
down straight
เน
in
โต้
legs worried
เน
me
โต้
that if
ยิง
he'd almost
โอ้
got
โห
stuck in the turf, and that
เน
was
โต้
going to be a problem. He's been helped off though by
อะไรของมึง
Reece
วะ
James and by one of the Manchester City physios. I still can't work out what's
เนโต้โอ้โหยิงข้ามคานเฉยเพื่อน
Again, it can't be his knee because his knees were bent. But it almost gets jammed, doesn't he, in the ground?
Could be metatarsal.
Maybe. If it was his toe, though, I don't think it would be as instant. Oh no, I've got a serious problem. Because if you
he can't put any weight on his legs. He can't put his weight on his feet. He's being helped off. And Abdulkadir Kuzanov comes on. Now, interestingly, he made his debut in this fixture 1 year ago and had a shocker.
Oh, it was awful.
He gave a terrible pass away for a Chelsea goal. City came back and won the game to get him out of jail, but it was an awful debut, wasn't it? And he's never really quite made the sort of regular breakthrough to be a first choice under Pep Guardiola, but here he is a year later with a chance to come on and change this game.
Yeah, on he comes now. I think he's played probably a bit more this season than he was maybe expecting under Guardiola. I'll be honest with you, I think he's a player who is very clearly physically gifted. He is very quick, very strong, and covers ground superbly well. But positionally and his reading of the game is so below par compared to some other players in the Premier League. I don't quite know how he gets away with it, but because he is so gifted physically, he kind of covers it up pretty well in certain games. Now, against a Chelsea team that have got some serious players in the side, he may be struggling. As there's another problem here. Is that Rodri who's gone down? Reece James has pulled back.
This looks bad for Rodri now. 2 injuries in a space of 2 minutes. Manchester City's gone down on the edge of the box and now he's holding his ankle. There isn't as much concern about Rodri as there was for Gvardiol. But City do have a free kick and it's only about 25 yards out.
Yeah, it comes from Reece James, really important possession. He's having a shocker of a game today. Reece James, see a replay now. Why is he controlling it with the outside of his right boot? Yeah, oh, that's a nasty one. Studs up on the ankle of Rodri. It's an accidental one as he goes to try and take the ball away. Like he just kicks through and his foot bounces off the ground and catches Rodri, but that is a painful one, and it's a good decision from Michael Oliver to give a free kick, and he's picked up a yellow card as well, Reece James, but he's struggling. I'm really shocked. He looks unfit, Reece James, this evening. Bearing in mind he was a forward of arrest last time out against Bournemouth, I'm shocked, but he can barely keep hold of the ball.
Well, the referee is telling Rodri he has to go off the pitch here because he received treatment on the pitch, so City will be down to 10 men. This is the kind of situation where you win a freak. Oh, actually he's not, he's allowing him to stay on the pitch. Well, I thought he received treatment on the pitch there, didn't he, Rodri? Why has he not gone off?
I don't.
Is this a new thing? I don't know.
It's not. No, if he received treatment, he should have gone off. But it was a very brief bit of treatment if he did.
From the free kick, City chip a ball into the back post. It's headed away by Andre Santos, and he does a decent job at the back post, clearing his lines. It's not going to stick up front, although there's been a foul on Andre Santos, who was. So Chelsea were claiming a foul, but the referee said play on. It's all got a bit crazy out there the last few minutes with the challenges going in, injuries, and now Andre Santos wins a header over the top of Ryan Cherki and feeds Pedro Neto, who missed that gilt-edged opportunity. I mean, that you don't get a better chance than that. He was 8 yards out on his left foot, set up perfectly by Enzo Fernandez, and he skied it over the bar. Major let-off for Manchester City. Chelsea go back now to Philip Jorgensen. The goalkeeper kicks it out towards Andre Santos. In fact, no, this is played now to Andre Santos by Achimpong. Santos crosses the halfway line. He's got Pedro Neto alongside him, but instead he finds an inside pass to João Pedro, who's blocked off the ball rather clumsily by Ruben Dias, and he wins a free kick. And a yellow card now comes out of the pocket of Michael Oliver for Ruben Dias.
Yeah, we didn't see any in the first half, did we? But I think we're going to start seeing them flying out in this second 45. João Pedro looks in a fair bit of discomfort. It's the minute. We'll just see a replay of the incident now. It's really good from João Pedro. Yeah, he gets his shoulder to the face. I'm not surprised he's in a fair bit of discomfort. It's the first. We're starting to see it now in the second half, aren't we? City almost getting caught out of position more and more frequently. That left for Ruben Dias' paw is far too high up the field, and rightly so, given a yellow card and a free kick against him.
Yeah, the rugged Portuguese defender leaves a bit of a bruise on the side of João Pedro's cheek there, I think. So we've played almost 10 minutes in the second half. It remains Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0. That goal in the first half from Dejani Ryan is still separating the sides. Chelsea have had a great chance though to equalise in the second half. Now there's a mistake by Achimpong, giving the ball away to Haaland. Have to plough his low throw here coming forward. Achimpong with a good recovery challenge gets in there to rob the Norwegian. It goes behind for a corner.
Yeah, really good bit of defending there from Achimpong. Showed his pace to get back at Erling Haaland. Not many players are quick enough to get back to Erling Haaland, but he does brilliantly well to come across and put that challenge in. Expertly done as well, because if he gets that wrong, it's a free kick and maybe not a red card, but it's certainly a yellow.
So corner to Chelsea, corner to Manchester City, I should say, from the City right. Reinders lurking in the penalty area. Diaz is there with him. In comes the ball towards the near post, and it's headed up and behind by a Chelsea defender, Benoit Badiashile. In fact, no, it's Trevor Chalobah who actually got that header in. And now there's a Chelsea player down with an injury to his knee. It looks like it's Enzo Fernandez, and he's
got cut.
Yeah, he's got quite a bit of a chunk taken out of his knee there.
โอพาเมอร์กูยังไม่ได้แผงลิสอะไรเลย
Caught a stud of some
Ow.
sort there on his knee. That is going to be really painful because I'll tell you what, it will be freezing in Manchester this evening, so that will really hurt. Yeah,
That's his own
he's
teammate.
caught a
แต่เชน
stud
คง
off
มัน
of
ไม่
Trevor
ไหว
Chalobah.
เพื่อนเอา
That
จ
is
ริง
going
ๆอ่ะ
to be really
ต้องเปลี่ยน
quite
ตัว
painful
แล้ว
for Enzo Fernandez.
ออกกันนาโชลงมามั่ง
Doesn't
เอา
know what
จริ
he's
งอ่ะ
done yet, does he?
No, oh, that is not nice. Thankfully, for Enzo Fernandez, it's not on the knee. I was on break off, header in comes in there from Ruben Diaz, and it's into the hands of Philip Jorgensen from the corner. Thankfully, for Enzo Fernandez, it's not on the knee that's covered in tattoos, so none of his tattoos will be ruined, but it'll still be a painful one.
Yeah, City trying to work a way forward here, but challenge comes in from Chalobah. It breaks to Shirky in midfield. He's just going backwards into his
เอา
own
โท
half
ซินลง
now.
กันนาโชลงมาดีกว่า
Back
เพื่อน
to Kuzanov.
เออ
Kuzanov just
กิฟ
slotted
เท
in
นก็ได้
alongside Ruben
กิฟนี่
Diaz
กิฟ
as
เทน
the left-sided central
โอ้
defender.
โหแดงเลย
Now Phil Foden in a tight area,
Oh.
draws a foul from Cole Palmer, and the referee does blow his whistle and give that against the England man.
อื้อหือ
Palmer still yet to really find his way into this game as an attacking force, despite the change
โดนเลยวะ
in formation. So yeah, it's actually I said before it was a sort of 3-4-2-1. So it's Palmer and Neto as sort of two behind Pedro Neto as the lone striker. It might actually be more of a 3-4-3.
เฮ้ยมงอื้อหือ
City
ไม่
playing
มีอะไร
back
เว้ย
now to goalkeeper Donnarumma, who kicks out
กันนาโช
to the
ลงมา
right-hand
ดีกว่า
side,
จ
so it'll
ริง
be onto the chest of Bernardo Silva as well, and then loses out to a challenge from Fernandez. And then a good tackle back there, won by City, finds Erling Haaland burrowing forward. He's taken on Chalobah. He's gone past Chalobah. He's still going into the penalty area. A left-footed shot comes in, and it's blocked by Badiashile, but that was dangerous. He got a head of steam up there, did the Norwegian. He's still got the ball down by the corner flag. Looks really pumped up at the moment. And he feeds Nico O'Reilly. He's got two Chelsea players around him. He tries to tumble and win a free kick. In the end, it'll go out for a throw. Probably a throw to Chelsea.
Yeah, I think it is. They are very fortunate, though, for the visitors. So they get away with this. They allow Haaland to build up a head of steam. I think, firstly, if Reece James isn't on a yellow card, he brings Haaland down there inside the centre circle. But it's so poor from Badiashile. He just backs off and backs off and backs off. Why would you let Erling Haaland step into the penalty area? You know, if you have to give away a free kick, give away a free kick. But you have to make a challenge. You cannot continue to back off into the penalty area because you're asking for trouble. In the end, he does well enough to get a block off. But baffled, absolutely baffled how he thought that was the right thing to do there.
Yeah, it's one of those where he probably gets a bit of credit for the block, but a defender would look at that and say he's done the wrong
สว
thing.
ย ไปแล้วเพื่อนฮาแลนด์ไปแล้ว
Donnarumma with the ball
ฮา
in
แล
his
น
feet,
ด์
plays it
ฮาแลนด์
sideways to
ยิงโอ้โหยิงติดบล็อก
Kuzanov, who kicks a long ball
โอ้โห
forward
ติด
towards
ชโลบา
Marlon. Good challenge from Badiashile this time, wins it proactively, but the ball breaks to Rodri. He finds Shirky. Shirky's ball over the top is going to release Reinders, the goal scorer now. Haaland lurking far post. Reinders composes himself there inside the penalty area. Can he find the delivery? Plays it square to Shirky. He's got a chance to shoot, and he was robbed by Reece James legally, says the referee. Although City want a penalty.
Yeah, they do, and I'll tell you what, they've got a question for it. I'd love to see the replay to see how much ball Reece James actually took there, but the question will be asked, of course, of VAR. We'll have to wait and see what happens, but Cole Palmer now on the ball for Chelsea, just trying to keep things moving for the Blues. As I think Michael Oliver suggested no penalty.
Yeah, he's just made the signal to the 40-odd thousand fans inside the
อุตส่าห์
Etihad
จะมาแช่ง
Stadium. That will not be
แข่งซิตี้เท่าไหร่เชลซีมันเล่นไม่ได้เรื่องเลยเพื่อน
Chelsea have it right-hand side now with
ไม่
Pedro
ได้มี
Neto
จังหวะ
and
ที่จะ
Gusto.
ตอบโต้เลย
Reece James made that crucial challenge moments ago.
อืม
Still Chelsea have it left side now with Enzo Fernandez. He goes with a crossfield diagonal out towards Pedro Neto. He sees it coming high and he can't do much with it. Heads it back in field where it's won back by Reinders, and then he lets it run out of play for a Chelsea throw. Here's the replay of the Reece James challenge. Right decision for you?
We're about to find out. Yeah, great tackle from Reece James. Fair play to Mike Oliver for noticing that. He gets a touch of the ball expertly there, does Reece James. I thought for all the world that that was a penalty on first viewing. Well, the replay shows that actually he gets a decent touch of the ball, and here comes Chelsea on the attack again.
Yeah, Achimpong trying to outpace his man on the outside, but he's not going to get past Kuzanov. It wasn't Kuzanov, rather, it was Mateus Nunes on this occasion. He sees him off for a corner.
ยาก
A
ดู
little lightning raid on the counter-attack there from Chelsea, almost got in behind the City defence. Now Cole Palmer goes over to take the corner and decides against it. In fact, I think they're going to try and work something a little bit different here, Chelsea, the way that Cole Palmer was nudging and winking there to a teammate. They're going to try a short corner here.
สวย
Well, Shalabar's come up
เน
for the
โต้
corner.
อื้อหือ
And yeah, they have played it short. It comes back to Gusto. Gusto's pass inside the penalty area. Cross from Reece James is repelled by Haaland at the near post. He's offside though.
Oh, what are they doing? I mean, like, you're going to send all the bodies up from the back, and they're trying to do something different. Oh, let's not commit everybody into the box. Let's try and keep some of the space open. And they've played it short to Gusto, to then play it back to Reece James in the corner, except he's offside. What on earth are they doing? Double change now though coming for Chelsea. Shot caller, it's Joao Pedro coming off for Liam Delap. That change should have been made at half time. I'm not entirely sure why it wasn't. And on comes Jarell Hasso as well. He's, oh my goodness me, he's coming on for Action Pong. What? He's been the only defender for Chelsea.
Natural left footer maybe.
Well, maybe, but wasn't Action Pong playing on the right hand side of the back three?
Not now, not the second half. No, he's playing left.
Oh, well, baffled. I'm quite baffled by that. Surely then you would take somebody off like Paddy Ashile, who's really struggling to keep up with the pace of play, and bring Hato on for him and just shuffle everybody around. I mean, who knows? We'll see. That to me is a little bit of an odd one. I understand the Delap change. That probably should have been done a good half hour ago now. But to bring Action Pong off, who's the only one who seems quick enough to deal with the Man City attack, and he's the only one who's played all right along that back three.
อีแลบแทนชาวเปโดแล้ว
played his side into trouble.
โอ้
To
ไม่
bring
คน
him off
ด้วย
for
ครับ
Hasso,
คิด
I
เช่นด้วย
don't really understand that one.
Here is Hato. His first touch is to give it away to Rodri, and he feeds Haaland on the edge of the penalty. Haaland trying to strike. He's blocked by Andre Santos. Gianni Reinders heads it on towards the corner flag. Phil Foden battling away with Shalabar. Shalabar too strong. Upper body strength did it for him there. And he sees it behind for a goal kick. So an hour gone, just over an hour gone at the Etihad Stadium. It feels like Callum McFarlane has shown his hand now. He's obviously changed formation at half time. Now he's sent on fresh legs. This is not quite the last roll of the dice, but he's running out of options to get his team back into this game.
Yeah, he is.
He needs this to work. And there's a mistake there by Shalabar. He gives it away to Shirky, who's dispossessed by Badiashile with a block close to the byline, and Chelsea will finally get it away now, but they made a meal of that again.
Yeah, they certainly did. Again, why are they inviting the pressure from Manchester City? Just, you've got Liam Delap on the pitch, play a long ball forward.
Here he is, first touch, takes it wide and plays it further on towards Pedro Neto. Has made a great spring from midfield, but Kuzanov with that great coverage, the recovery speed, tidies up and knocks it out for a throw.
See how much easier it is to move the ball forward with one long ball to a striker who can get it to stick along in the final third. That should have been the plan from minute one this evening, not trying to pass around the Manchester City press.
Chelsea on the attack. They've moved it to the right now for Gusto. He's a bit isolated here, but he feeds it back towards Reece James, trying to measure a cross in towards the back post. Could be a chance of it. Pedro Neto just too far in front of him. Is it kept in? I don't think so. There may even have been an offside flag up there, and it's going to be City ball.
That's a really good ball from Reece James, and I don't think Pedro Neto and Liam Delap quite realise it yet. Honestly, that is pinpoint, and hesitating, making the run in behind, and that's why they don't get there. It's really good from Reece James, and there needs to be more of that. It's much better from Chelsea in an attacking sense, at least.
Yeah, he's had a good game. Reece James made that good challenge inside the penalty area a few moments ago on Ryan Shirky, and he's always tried to be positive with his passing in midfield when all the little scraps to the ball that Chelsea have had in this game. City have it at the back now, played forward by
Chelsea เหลือเกือบครึ่งชั่วโมงเนี่ย
out of play by Andre Santos, and it's actually come off City head there, so Chelsea have the throw in which they take. There's definitely more purpose about Chelsea now, obviously with the fresh legs and the change of formation, trying to be a bit more positive with the passing. Although as I say that, Jurgensen goes square to Shalabar. He plays it down the line to Gusto. Gusto trying to flick it on to no great effect. It's going to be picked up by Rodri, former Atletico Madrid player.
อีเจมเปิดดีแล้วนะเอาจริงๆอะ
O'Reilly
แต่บอลแม่งกักกันไปหน่อย
wall of defenders, plays it backwards to Kuzanov. The Uzbekistan international slips it into Foden's feet, a little back heel there from the England man, but it's poor pass to Gianni Reinders. It's snapped up by Shalabar. He goes back to Jorgensen. Haaland gives chase. Jorgensen takes a touch and then blasts it out to the opposite flank. It's a good ball to Hato, whose control is awful, and that goes out for a City throw.
Yeah, disappointed from Chelsea. Spread the ball over onto the far side really quite nicely.
His career has not really taken off, has it, at Chelsea?
No, it hasn't. I mean, he's not helped by the fact. I mean, I understand to a certain extent why Enzo Maresca did it, but every week they were playing a different back four, weren't they? And it must be difficult for a 19-year-old. There's a lot of pressure on him, having signed for a lot of money from Ajax. But it's been 9 times for Chelsea this season. You know,
ผ่านเดือน25นาทีสุดท้าย
when I've seen him play, he's played pretty well. He can't have, you know, can't have been much worse than Tosin Adarabioyo at times. Can't have been much worse than Trevor Chalobah at times this season. That's a good flick on from Haaland and Bernardo Silva, almost in behind there. But yeah, it hasn't taken off at all, and I do feel for him for a little bit. Maybe with a new coach, you can get a bit more game time. We'll have to wait and see.
City have gone into a press mode now. Haaland's doing a lot of pressing. Bernardo's doing a lot of pressing. Ryan Shirky's doing no pressing at all. He never has in his career. I just think he's probably not the man for this type of game plan, and maybe he'll come off soon if Guardiola decides to make a change. Here's Liam Delap, played by Cole Palmer now. Attack here for Chelsea down the centre of the pitch. There's a space out left-hand side here for the arriving Pedro Neto, who chops back onto his left foot. Wants it on his right though, really. Now he slips it into the penalty area for... it's blocked. It comes back to Malo Gusto on the right. City have got bodies back now. Malo Gusto takes a little turn, but he's going nowhere. He's been seen off by Nico O'Reilly's strength, and he has to rely on Reece James coming back to help him
ดู
out.
สนอบนี่ก่อนมาซิตี้อยู่
That's a really good opportunity again for Chelsea. Again, it's more hesitation from Pedro Neto. You just got to commit to what he's doing. Just got to recognise that there's a chance to create something here. Get your head down, strike on goal, do something with it. You never know what's going to happen. Donnarumma might spill it, might take a deflection.
Good ball from Andre Santos. Delap's come off the front now, peeled off the front. He's got a chance to play this one through towards Cole Palmer. Still going there against his former side. Liam Delap gets stopped on the edge of the box by a good challenge from Bernardo Silva.
Yeah, good challenge from Bernardo Silva, and now City can be on their way. His game really starting to open up now.
Yeah, it's becoming a bit sort of like a basketball game end to end. I'm not sure City would want it to be that way with the lead 1-0.
เอาไปเอาหลุดแล้ว
force it to be more of that type of game to get back into it.
Yeah, they certainly do. That's where they're going to succeed, isn't it? Is when it opens up and, you know, when they've got a bit of space to pass into, rather than having to be patient with it, you know. And that's you know, that's what they've been waiting for all game, really. And it's now starting to open up with the lap stretching things a bit.
Yeah, Chelsea have had 2 days extra rest than Manchester City, the way the fixtures fell over New Year's Eve. Of course, no games on New Year's Eve, so those matches played on the 30th. That was Chelsea's fixture day against Bournemouth, and then City played 2 days later. They're back in action a few days later. Just wonder whether maybe fitness-wise Chelsea might have a little bit more freshness in these last few stages.
Yeah, maybe, but it is worth remembering the game that they played. Obviously, you know, playing against Sunderland is no easy feat, but up against Bournemouth, you exhaust an awful lot of energy. Arsenal will tell you after the game last night, if anything, they needed the extra 2 days to make up for the fact they were playing against Bournemouth.
Another good flick from Haaland. This time Shirky is on the move, and he's gone past Andre Santos into the penalty area. He puts a great ball in towards Bernardo Silva. Another fantastic challenge, this time from Chalobah. Saves the day, and it falls back to, in fact, it was Hato. Brilliant defensive instincts from him, puts it back to Jorgensen.
Brilliant move again from Manchester City. Haaland at the centre of it. Lovely flick onto Ryan Shirky, whose game might be run, or race might run, I should say, sorry, with Jeremy Doku ready to come on in a moment or so. I actually don't think it's a great ball, and I think there's not enough pace on the ball whatsoever, and it should be better. Fired across over to Bernardo Silva, so he can just stick a left boot in it. But either way, well, in fact, he's not going to come off. I thought for all the world that Doku would be on to replace Shirky, but he's on to replace Tiani Reynolds. Either way, big opportunity for City to potentially kill the game off.
Yeah, wouldn't be the substitution I would have made, but Pep Guardiola's a little bit more qualified than me. We're just seeing a replay of Reinder's goal now, still the only goal in the game. It came a few minutes before half-time. Lovely bit of footwork from him, and a lashed left foot shot beyond Jorgensen at the near post, but not been quite as effective in the second half, and he goes off now to be replaced by a man who will love to play in a game that's getting stretched like this one.
Yeah, absolutely. He's had a difficult time with injuries, hasn't he, over recent weeks? That game against Liverpool looked like it was a real crowning moment in his Manchester City career so far, but he has barely featured over recent weeks and months, but he's got an opportunity now to really try and look to put Chelsea to bed with the game opening up.
Yeah, and the game is entering the final 20 minutes plus stoppage time, so I'll hand it over to Lukasz to take you through to full time.
Thank you very much, Simon. Ball out of play on the near side for Chelsea. Ball in hand, he's looking for options around him. Will eventually throw it into Enzo Fernandez, who tries to volley it round the corner. Easy interception made by Ruben Diaz. Play will continue now with City in possession once more. Doku trying to skip away from Chalobah. Reece James there to make a recovery tackle. Jorgensen will launch the ball long towards the lap, headed away by Diaz. And then Reece James trying to get it under control. He can't. And Doku does well to see that out of play for a throw-in on the near side. I do think that's one of those changes that now doesn't necessarily nullify the back three, but Malo Gusto now all of a sudden cannot be as forward thinking as he was before. He now all of a sudden his priority is not really going forward. His priority is making sure Jeremy Doku doesn't get any big opportunities. I'll break off as here comes Phil Foden, trying to get the ball into the box. It's been blocked well by Reece James after a decent move on the edge of the penalty area. Now here comes Chelsea. Delap does well to feed Fernandez. Fernandez has got options left and right. Goes to the left where Pedro Neto is one-on-one with Mateus Nunes. Neto wants it on his right boot. Instead, will just stop, allow City to get bodies back, and chance goes. We're seeing this far too much from Chelsea this evening. You've got to exploit the space when it's there. Delap though receives the ball well. It's on the penalty area, straight towards goal. It's saved by Donnarumma. That's called exploiting the space. That is taking advantage of when it opens up. Not what Pedro Neto does, where he just stands and waves his foot in the air and passes backwards.
Yeah, it's a great turn from Liam Delap. He just rolls Kuzanov there. Probably got a bit too tight to him. He's actually trying to drag him back around his waist, but eventually lets go Kuzanov, and he's got no... Well, he actually gets something on that shot. He does take a little bit of the pace off the shot there, Kuzanov, by stretching out for that strike from Liam Delap. Left-footed strike from close range. I think probably Donnarumma had it covered anyway, but Kuzanov does get a bit of it.
Yeah, he certainly does. A bit of defending there from Kuzanov. As you said, makes up for the fact he gets tad too tight to Liam Delap there, who, of course, was a product of the Manchester City Academy, scoring 1 goal in his 6 senior appearances for the Citizens before departing on loan moves to the likes of Hull City, as well as being signed by Ipswich Town, and of course now finding his way to Chelsea. That's a chip ball to the near side for Doku. One way, then the other, trying to get away from Chalobah and Gusto, gets on his left boot, ball into the box. He's intercepted well by Andre Santos. He's almost done more defensive duties in this second half than he has done forward thinking. Bernardo's done unbelievably well to keep that ball in on the near side. Gets the ball to Doku. Doku inside the box is away from Chalobah, but his shot is blocked and cleared away by Chelsea. That's not a good header from O'Reilly, but then Pedro Neto can't get it under control. And play breaks down. It wouldn't shock me if we see somebody like Jamie Gittins or Alejandro Garnacho on sooner rather than later to replace Pedro Neto for a minute. He just cannot get involved in it. Well, he's involved in the game, but he's not doing the right thing when he's involved.
นาที70 กว่าเพิ่งยิงเขากรอบครั้งแรก
Probably seen too many ponderous moments from Pedro Neto, really. Although I don't know.
เล่นไม่ออกโคพาเมอร์
He's playing quite centrally there, isn't he? So they're in this formation. I mean, maybe it's just because he's gone over there now because Delap's gone over to the right-hand side, but I don't know. He's played as a central striker for Chelsea when they've had injury problems in the past, and I just wonder whether maybe Callum McFarland's thinking his pace in this transitional phase of the game is what they need, and he's quicker than Gittins or Garnacho.
You're a brave man than I am, Sam, because I've given up trying to work out what Callum McFarland's doing, honestly. I mean, I love it from the interim coach because he goes, well, this is my opportunity to show what I'm about. I'm going to do everything I can, and it's phenomenal.
He's not been vanilla tonight, has he? No. He's been very sort of spicy with some of his ideas, but not all of them have worked out.
No, they haven't. I'm have to tune some of Chelsea under-21s games just to see what on earth his game plan is in those games, because I tell you what, I've got no idea what he's doing with this team, but Enzo Fernandez has just given away a free kick over on the far side. You'll be shocked to hear that he's not overly happy with the decision from Michael Oliver, but either way, play continues with Manchester City in possession. Nathan Ake is ready to come on for the home side sooner rather than later. It'll be interesting to see who it is for, as Doku plays a wonderful ball in behind for Phil Foden. Now to nowhere, City with a chance, and Chelsea with a good bit of defending through Benoit Badiashile. I tell you what, Jeremy Doku has come on this evening with a point to prove. That is a world-class ball from deep. Again, Reece James is really struggling, cannot keep up with Phil Foden as that ball is played in behind. And the ball from Foden towards Haaland just quite isn't there, but unbelievable from Ryan Shirky. And ball put out of play for a corner.
Chelsea on my way, Chelsea.
Yeah. Phil Foden, he's not had his most decisive game today, has he? He's popped up in some good areas and hasn't quite been able to deliver under pressure.
In swinger to come in from Ryan Shirky from the corner. It's towards the penalty spot, headed away well by Pedro Neto. Second header comes in from Palmer. Not brilliant. That's surely a high boot. Michael Oliver says no. Ball still bouncing around on the edge of the penalty area as Foden will lay it off to Shirky. Shirky trying to get away from Malo Gusto, straight towards goal. It's been blocked, and then Foden nearly latching onto the loose ball. But Chelsea can get it clear, and the offside flag has eventually gone. Maybe now we'll see the change to bring on Nathan Ake with 15 minutes left to go in this one. Independent on-tube studio-based commentary, Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0. We won't see Nathan Ake come on because he's just been sent to go continue warming up down the touchline with a bib on. So we might not see Nathan Ake come on whatsoever. I did think it was a weird change to potentially bring on if you're Pep Guardiola. Bear in mind you've already changed one of your centre-halves. I'm not sure you'd want to change your second. And it's very, very defensive if you all of a sudden move to a back three against this Chelsea side.
Yeah, it was 15 minutes to go, and that would be his last substitution window, wouldn't it? You know, we still have other substitutions to make, and to leave yourself potentially there with not being able to make another change with 15 minutes to go if there's another injury, that could be a bit of a mistake. So I think he's probably thought again here, Pep Guardiola.
In Guardiola's defence, I don't know how many more players he'd want to bring on. I'll talk about the bench in a second. That's a decent ball over the top for Pedro Neto, but we'll just lay it off to Cole Palmer. Again, Chelsea become static in the final third, but here's Enzo Fernandez, who's done pretty well at getting things moving for Chelsea in attack this evening. This attempted ball is blocked by Rodri, but still Chelsea have possession with Neto, this time on the right-hand side. Thought about the left-footed ball, and instead we'll try and feed Gusto, who's caught flat-footed by Nico O'Reilly, and City can get it clear as Doku skips away from Neto. And here comes Jeremy Doku through midfield. Bit of pace shown from the City number 11. Driving towards the centre circle, we'll just lay it off to Rodri. Rodri's got Shirky on the right-hand side. Instead we'll look to try and feed Foden on the near side. But play breaks down as Reece James intercepts. But other than Nathan Ake, the senior players again I'll break off because actually that's a great ball through to Liam Delap. Kusanov though has marshalled the ball out of play superbly there. Excellent from Kusanov, and then Delap has sent him into the advertising hoarding. That will have angered a number in Sky Blue, and he cannot help himself, can he, Liam Delap? I tell you what, that is naughty from the former Ipswich Town man, and I'm not surprised City are kicking off. I do not like that at all from Liam Delap.
It's a cheap shot from Delap. He's obviously disappointed with himself for Kuzanov's fantastic defending, and the City players are probably right to try and defend him there. But
I'm not sure what Andre Santos is doing.
The referee's got problem there. Does he book two players here? Because if he books Liam Delap just for that cheap shot, you know, there's the City players that have instigated that as well that probably need a yellow card as well. But I don't know. Kuzanov's okay. You know, he went crashing into the advertising hoardings. The referee's now calling players over.
That's one of those where I'd like to give an orange card for that. I think that's really poor from Liam Delap, and I like him as a player, but he has to cut this out. His disciplinary record is appalling, and it's not a disciplinary record where you go strikers challenges, he gives away, you know, a couple of late challenges. He's regularly done for elbowing players, for, you know, cheap shots from behind. Yeah, I mean, he could avoid that. He genuinely just launched him into the advertising hoardings there, Liam Delap, from behind. It's absolutely ridiculous from the former Man City and Ipswich Town man. And to be honest with you, I don't know what more Michael Oliver can do. You can't send him off for it. It's not a red card. But I just think, like, if you're a Chelsea player, you must be so frustrated with him. Every week there's something like that. As I think Mateus Nunes has just been given a yellow card as well. I'm not entirely sure what for.
I'm guessing he was the one that got over to Delap first and shoved him or something like that. There was, I think he was probably the first City player there. There's something that would have been probably checked by the VAR or something like that. I don't know, or maybe checked by an official.
Second yellow card of the season. I'm not buying that. That's only Delap's second yellow card.
He's played 6 games.
That to me is crazy. I mean, I don't know what else to say. That to me is pretty crazy. What's Mateus Nunes been yellow card for here? We're just seeing his reaction with Enzo Fernandez. Doesn't seem to do an awful lot wrong there, Mateus Nunes, arguing with Enzo Fernandez, but yeah, it certainly turned into a little bit of a melee by the side of the pitch. Just going back to my original point, by the way, about the bench, and we're talking about the fact that Guardiola only had one window left to make a change. In terms of the players that he maybe wants to bring on, you've got senior players in James Trafford, Nathan Ake and Rico Lewis. The rest of the bench is made up of teenagers in Stephen Mafuni, Divine Mikasa, Regan Heskey and Ryan Mikado. Like, they don't have, I don't think, anybody else they potentially want to bring on. It looks though Ake may well find himself coming on now, as Ruben Diaz has just had to receive some treatment. So I think Ake is now going to make his way onto the field. Simon Hooper being handed the fourth official's ball there by Colo Torre, and it is indeed going to be Diaz off and Ake on. So it's a fresh centre-back partnership in this game, and it's not one that I don't think from my memory have ever played together in Ake and Kusanov.
Maybe not, no. Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think obviously Diaz has got a problem, and he sat down on the pitch to receive his treatment, tries to take suck as much time out of the game, take the time off the clock as he could there before Ake replaced him. So yeah, 10 minutes plus stopping time, and there'll probably be about 5 or 6 minutes stopping time as things stand, maybe more by the time we get there.
Yeah, there probably will be after that little bit of a melee at the side of the pitch, but here come Manchester City straight away, trying to kill this game off. Foden looking for Haaland in behind, Bernardo Silva just gesturing to the England international. That ball should have been played to him. We'll see from the replay now. Bernardo Silva is left with absolutely acres of room. It had to be played through to him. Instead, Foden tried the more difficult pass looking for Haaland. I think ultimately you're disappointed in that ball in behind from Phil Foden, but nonetheless play will continue with Chelsea in possession. Less than 10 minutes to go in this one. Independent studio-based commentary. Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0. Liam Delap unable to get that long ball forward under control as the ball bounces out to play on the near side for a Manchester City throw-in. What I don't think helps Liam Delap either when it comes to this this disciplinary issue is his head's now probably on another planet. He's just had 5 Manchester City players, rightfully so can I add, running up to him, kicking off at him. Your head's not in the game now, is it? You all of a sudden you're focused on other things. Your adrenaline will be pumping far more than it ought to be. And and that's just highlighted by the lack of first touch as that ball came past to him. It can't help him in any way, shape or form.
Well, he's made himself a bit of a pantomime villain in this game, isn't he? The City fans are probably booing his every touch, or certainly on his back anyway. But yeah, I thought he'd had a good game up until well, in fact, he probably still is having a good game after coming on as a sub. Just he just needs to get his head down and keep working hard for these chances. Chelsea are playing the right types of passes to him. They're trying to slide him in down the sides, and then it's up to him then to see what show his ability on the ball.
Yeah, certainly is. He's not had an opportunity really to get a hold of the ball in the last 5 minutes or so. Chalobah now for Chelsea will play it onto the near side for Gusto. Gusto ball down the line looking for Palmer. He can't get the ball under control. That's when you know Chelsea are having a bad game, when Cole Palmer can't get the ball under control. He's now fouled Rodri as the Spaniard looks to try and get away. But that will be a free kick to Man City. As O'Reilly now in possession will go back to Nathan Ake. Ake now finds O'Reilly, who will fire it down the line for Bernardo Silva. Here's Doku for O'Reilly, who will go all the way back for Gianluigi Donnarumma. Turns it on to his right boot, thought about long ball forward, instead we'll just go square to Kusanov. Kusanov now into midfield for Rodri. Rodri will step forward and find Shirky. Shirky will turn, Shirky will drive, and he'll continue driving here around Shirky. Held up well initially by Andre Santos, but Foden now has a loose ball. Ball played onto the near side for Doku. Doku trying to get away from Pedro Neto, does well. Feeds Foden. Foden over onto the far side for Nunes. Nunes thought about the effort, instead will feed Haaland on the right wing. He will go back into Foden and play breaks down. Chelsea have enough bodies back. It's all well and good. Like Chelsea now are defending pretty well. They're getting bodies behind the ball and making things difficult for Manchester City. City won't really care because they'll go on and win this game 1-0 even if they don't get another chance.
I think City will be happy with 1-0, and they're very good at running the clock down. They haven't tossed away too many points from leading positions this season. There's been 1 or 2 notable exceptions, but I think the way the game's going, City will feel pretty comfortable to just wind the clock down, play their game management, and frustrate Chelsea and take the 1-0.
Yeah, I totally agree. And if you're Pep Guardiola, you're pretty happy with that 1-0 victory, because if we have a look at the standings, it moves them back up to second place, 4 points behind Arsenal at the top of the table. Arsenal themselves have got Liverpool at home next time out. Liverpool on a, I don't want to say a decent unbeaten run, because it's an unbeaten run that features an awful lot of draws that probably ought to have been wins. But it is a Liverpool team who are unbeaten in their last, I think it's 6, as Reece James driving forward has been pulled back in midfield. So it will be a free kick for the visitors. We have a look towards the next time Manchester City face Arsenal. It's all the way in mid-April. They will be hoping by then the gap is within 3 and they can look to try and move towards the top of the table. But victories like this against Chelsea, tight victories where you'd argue they've not played at the best, are what are going to keep them in the hunt up against Arsenal. Let's not forget about Aston Villa as well on 42. This victory will send Man City above Aston Villa, but only by the 2 points. Again, this is all if they can hold on to said victory against Chelsea. They will lead Villa by 2 points, and I'm pretty sure they face Villa sooner rather than later, if I'm not mistaken. They've got Brighton up next before an FA Cup fixture at home against Exeter City. It's Newcastle United in the EFL Cup before games against Manchester United, Bodo Glimt and Wolves. As, they've won the ball back high up here, City. Ryan Shirky nabbing it off of Jarell Hato. Andre Santos, though, within the back 3 to take the ball away from him. And he's done brilliantly well to feed Jarell Hato as well. It very impressed me so far this afternoon has Andre Santos. Oh my goodness me, that was dreadful from Enzo Fernandez. He booted the ball out of play over on the far side. He waves his hands to say, I can't believe it, but that was really, really poor.
Yeah, he didn't have much room to work with. He's running along the touchline. Pedro Neto is on the same touchline. He tries to play a straight pass down the line, just got it slightly wrong, and it's gone out for a Man City throw, but they can't afford to do that. Turnovers of possession, you know, Chelsea give the ball away to Man City, then City will have it for another 30, 40, maybe a minute now before they can see the ball again.
Yeah, absolutely. There's Bernardo Silva now in possession for the citizens. Ball back to Mateus Nunes. Chip down the line looking for Haaland. Hato then tries to play it back towards Badiashile. Haaland reads it, and here come Manchester City trying to kill the game off late on. Shirky, edge of the penalty area looking for Foden. Pass intercepted by Gusto, but Rodri's there to read the loose touch and feeds Nico O'Reilly on the near side. Further wide now for Doku. Doku then back inside for Rodri. Ball sent over onto the far side for Nunes. Down the line for Shirky. One-on-one with Jarell Hato. Wants to go one way. Held up well though by Hato, so we'll have to go the other. Onto his left. Chip ball in back. Looking for Haaland. That was almost genius from Ryan Shirky. And if he'd just taken a little bit off it, Haaland was there to make it 2-0.
Yeah, he's done all right today, hasn't he, Shirky? Had a difficult first half, but the game, since it's got into this sort of more open phase, with Chelsea clearly, you know, happy to open things up to try and get the equaliser, Shirky's had more space to run into and he's looked more effective.
Yeah, he certainly has. As Chelsea now looking to try and come forward late on here. Andre Santos moves it square to Reece James. Onto the near side now for Gusto. One-on-one with O'Reilly. Just go back to Trevor Chalobah. Into Reece James once more. Thought about the ball over the top. Instead we'll go back to Chalobah once more. Foden there to put the squeeze on the former Crystal Palace loanee. Now it's with Philip Jorgensen into Andre Santos once more. Nice ball around the corner to find Reece James. James now finds Palmer. Palmer looking in behind for Delap, and Delap's got the legs to get there, but he's held up well by Ake. Now back to Gusto. Palmer once more. Edge of the penalty area for Fernandez. Fernandez now over onto the far side for Neto. He can't get the ball out of his feet. Now Pedro Neto. And the chance goes because every City player barring Haaland is now behind the ball. And all of a sudden you think it's a 4-on-4 for Chelsea. And it now turns to City sitting deep ball into the box. Who still finds his way to Delap. His shot is blocked and it's into the hands of Donnarumma. And look, they create the half chance in the end, but it should be so much more every time. They can't do anything with the ball.
It's a decent chance for Cole Palmer. He's just whiffed at the ball. You know, he's trying to open his body up and hit it right-footed, and he's not got anything of it. So, yeah, I mean, I agree. Pedro Neto's been pretty ponderous and poor, and he's made some poor decisions, and his touch let him down. But in the end, they do work a decent chance here through Hato, and he's just whiffed at it, Palmer.
Yeah, he has. And you're frustrated if you're a Chelsea fan watching this because you feel there was potentially a point to be had in this game, given City taking their foot off the gas in this second half, and also the missed chances as well for City. But they've not taken advantage of it. Chelsea, that's going to be a handball against Bernardo Silva in the midfield. An opportunity for Chelsea once more to try and move forward and try and cause some issues in the final third. Reece James is going to stand over it, and actually he's going to look to try and swing this one to the box. He's going to use it as a set-piece opportunity here, Chelsea, and I don't blame them. City are going to hold a high line. If they get this wrong, Chelsea will be in behind. We're ticking past the 90th minute, 6 added on at the end of this second half. Time for Chelsea still, but they need to start making inroads now. Reece James will float this one in towards the punch ball. That's absolutely dreadful. That is absolutely woeful from Reece James. Far too deep, and Donnarumma doesn't even have to jump just to pluck that out of the sky. It's dreadful from Reece James, and now here comes City on the counter-attack. It's Doku down the near side, brought down by Reece James. What's the referee give? He gives a throw into Manchester City, to Chelsea I should say. I think that's slightly generous, but he has had a woeful game, Reece James. That's terrible in midfield from Gusto, and Shirky now has it, edge of the penalty, tackled brilliantly by Andre Santos, and here comes Chelsea on the counter-attack. Neto feeds Delap tries to get away from Kusanov. He's been tackled well by the Manchester City defender, and that's going to be a throwing over on the far side. And Chelsea needs to get the ball moving quickly.
That was his chance, Kusanov, to get back at Liam Delap, but he actually put a clean
Oh,
tackle in
so
there.
Delap,
and saw it out
Are
for
you
a throw-in.
suggesting he should have gone in with his studs,
Not
Simon?
at all. I'm just saying, he tells you about his attitude, doesn't he? You know,
Yeah.
he wasn't thinking about just taking a cheap shot back.
Yeah, of course, he will be going to the World Cup with Uzbekistan in summer. Will Abdulkadir Kusanov getting to represent his country for the first time at a major tournament. As that's going to be a free kick. No, it's going to be a goal kick. Malo Gusto, I think, has hit the deck with a stitch. We'll see a replay of it now. Yeah, it just falls over himself. Malo Gusto holding off Nathan Ake.
Yeah, it could be an injury, a muscle injury around his intercostal or his rib cage, something like that. But he's back to his feet. He's jogging back to the halfway line, seeing some pain. He's put a lot of work in today. By the way, Tijani Reinders has been given player of the match. He scored the decisive goal.
ดูทรงว่าน่า
That's why he's been given it, isn't it? Because he's got the decisive goal.
น่าจะเนี่ยนะเพื่อน
I've probably gone with Rodri. For
City น่าจะชนะ
He's had a bit more of an
ไม่มี
impact
จัง
on
ห
the
วะ
game,
อะไร
but
เลย
he's going to play the 90
ผมเนี่ย
minutes.
หลับเนี่ย
yeah,
ดูบอลมันจะหลับแล้วเนี่ย
there aren't too many other candidates
Right.
forwards-wise for Manchester City. So yeah.
ก็น่าโชว์ลงอยู่วะ
It's been an interesting one, but City
Show
look
ไม่
as
ได้
though
ลง
they're going to hold on
อยู่
for
ดี
all 3 points still, though 4 of the 6 minutes added on left to be played. As Neto driving down the far side is tackled far too easily by Ray and Shirky. And City now have the ball in midfield. Bernardo Silva trying to feed her over onto the far side, looking for Shirky. Oh, that is clever from Bernardo Silva. That's the right time to pick up a yellow card. He's absolutely flattened Andre Santos as Chelsea were coming forward, hold him back as he got goal side of his man. But he can afford to do that at this stage of the game.
Yeah, he just dragged him down. It's his 5th yellow card of the season. Of course, he's outside the cut-off point, so he won't be suspended for 1 game. So if he'd done that in the last game, he would have missed this game. But because he did it in this game, he's okay.
Yeah, unlike Moises Caicedo, I think Bernardo Silva showed a little bit more experience in that situation. As Gusto's done brilliantly, got away from Nico O'Reilly. Chance now, surely it's a goal. Oh, it's in! Somehow Chelsea have found the back of the net. It's Enzo Fernandez to steal a point late on. Delight for the Argentinian and for Chelsea. He climbs the advertising hoardings to celebrate with the travelling away fans. I cannot believe City have let it slip late on, but they have done, and it's City 1, Chelsea 1.
Yeah, Malo Gusto, the architect of this one, he just skips down the right-hand side. He kids a City player into making a poor challenge, and then he's away. And he puts a very good ball, a teasing ball into the far post. It looks like there's 2 or 3 Chelsea players. They just commit bodies into the penalty area. And in the end, after Liam Delap's missed it, it's Enzo Fernandez almost kicking it out of Donnarumma's hands to find the back of the net.
It's games like these which decide titles. And City look as though they're certain to drop 2 points here. Let's see a replay of it now. It's brilliant, decisive play from Malo Gusto to skip away from Nico O'Reilly. Terrible defending from the youngster. His ball into the box is superb. It takes a nick off of Ake, who doesn't get anywhere near enough on it to see it out of play. Forward corner. Delap misses it. Nunes misses it. Fernandez misses it on the first occasion. Pulls off the brilliant save. But he's there to snuff the rebound into the back of the net. I can't believe they've let it go.
There's going to be a VAR check on this because I think Liam Delap is very close to being offside at the near post. But the question is, does he interfere with play? Does he make a motion towards the ball to play it? If he doesn't, this will be absolutely fine. And and will stand. But I think they're going to check to see if the lap was offside.
We've already seen one goal given this afternoon for an offside. Well, it was ruled out on the field for offside. VAR then decided in the Liverpool game that was onside. You can clearly tell from the replays he wasn't, but the goal stood in the game between Liverpool and Fulham. If this one stands, Guardiola will be absolutely furious. And as I said, it's games like these which decide titles. And I'll be honest with you, each week that goes by, each result like this, it almost feels more and more inevitable. The title will be going to the Emirates this season. It looks as though the goal's going to stand. Everybody's back in position for kickoff. I can't believe City have let this slip. I really can't. They have been so much better than Chelsea this evening. So much better. And Chelsea are going to steal a point late on.
It certainly looks like it, yeah. I mean, I think Manchester City have probably been worth 3 points today, but you don't always get what you deserve in football. You know, they've missed chances.
Not when you don't kill a game off, no.
They missed chances to kill it off. And, you know, it's just one moment, really, where Nico O'Reilly's he's let Gusto get past him, but then you still look at it and say, you know, there's other players to deal with that situation in the box. Great ball in by Gusto.
ต้องนี้ถือว่าเจลตีขอบคุณมาก
bites of the cherry at the far post, and he's eventually just poked it over the line. But yeah, Guardiola will be so frustrated that his team haven't killed this game off before we've got into stoppage time.
Yeah, he knows this is a costly result. He's absolutely furious on the side. I've not seen Guardiola like this in quite some time. He gets like this in the big moments, and I think he knows this is a big moment. Fernandes has been yellow carded, by the way, for jumping into the crowd. I don't like to see players yellow carded for that, but I understand why he has been. So he goes into the book for his fourth of the season. There's a long ball sent forward to the lap. He's gone straight to the corner. Feeds Palmer, who will now drive down the byline. Going to play there for Cole Palmer. He's given the ball away to Rodri, who will pump it long. Nowhere near Haaland, though. Good header away from Hasso. And now into Fernandes picks up. And here comes Fernandes into the penalty area, straight towards goal. No power on the efforts, and a comfortable save in the end for Donnarumma. But he's got to get the ball forward quickly. Just kick it long. Kick it long and get Haaland chasing for it. He does eventually kick it long, but he's wasted a good 5 seconds doing so. Easy header away there from Badiashile. It's been gathered in the midfield by Ake. Ake will then play one down the line looking towards Doku. His pass has been intercepted and cleared away well by Chalobah. Ake will then look to send one forward, but he slipped while he's playing it, and that's going to bounce out of play for a Chelsea throw-in on the near side. It'll be Chalobah who's got to take it down the line. Guardiola is now in his laughing phase, which again he tends to do when he feels like his side have been hard done by. So we're going through all the stages of frustration here from Pep Guardiola. And, well, you can understand why, because there's not much he could have done in this game. It looks as though his side are going to drop points again this season. Palmer will fire a ball over onto the far side looking towards Enzo Fernandez. He's clattered into Ryan Shirky. Play will continue as City come forward. Rodri, ball over the top for Haaland. Haaland will nod it down to Shirky. Shirky driving forward. He's got Bernardo Silva there with him. Uses the Manchester City captain Silva. One-on-one with Hasso. Needs to get the ball to the box. Does get the ball to the box. It's deflected and out of play for a corner. We've played an extra 2 minutes of football, but that will be that. The full-time whistle has blown. Chelsea, under interim management of Callum McFarlane, has stolen a point at the Etihad away from home against Manchester City. Tierney Reiders, just before half-time, scored a brilliant goal to give City the lead. They failed to kill the game off, and in the 94th minute, Enzo Fernandez to steal a point for Chelsea with a brilliant, with a well-worked goal at the back post as he tapped into an empty net. Full-time at the Etihad is Manchester City 1, Chelsea 1.
Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, each one to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck.
เชลซีขอบคุณมากก็จบเกมนะครับเพื่อนๆ ก็แมนซิตี้นะครับเสมอเชลซีไป 1-1 นะครับเพื่อนๆก็ซิตี้นะครับได้ประตูแรกจากไรเดอร์นาที42แล้วก็เอนโซ เฟอร์นันเดสนะครับมาตีเสมอเชลซีนาทีที่90+4นะทำให้จบเกมนะครับเสมอไป 1-1 โอ้โหสุดยอดครับอ่ะเดี๋ยวมาดูอัปเดตตารางคะแนนล่าสุดนะเพื่อนก็อาร์เซนอลนะครับอยู่ที่1นะเพื่อนอาร์เซนอลนะครับอยู่ที่1แข่ง20นัดมี48คะแนนนะครับชนะ15เสมอ3แพ้2ส่วนที่2นะครับเป็นซิตี้นะครับแข่ง20นัดนะชนะ13เสมอ3แล้วก็แพ้4นะครับมี42คะแนนนะตามหลังอาร์เซนอลอยู่6แต้มนะครับแล้วก็แอสตันวิลล่านะครับอยู่ที่3นะแข่ง13นัดชนะ13แข่ง20นัดชนะ13เสมอ3แล้วก็แพ้4นะครับมี42คะแนนเท่าซิตี้นะแต่ประตูได้เสียซิตี้ดีกว่านะครับซิตี้บวก26แล้วก็แอสตันวิลล่าบวก9นะครับแล้วก็ที่4นะครับเป็นลิเวอร์พูลนะมี34คะแนนนะที่5นะวันนี้เชลซีจะขึ้นไปอยู่ที่5มี31คะแนนนะครับประตูได้เสียดีกว่าแมนยูนะแล้วก็ลองมาดูแล้วก็สเปอร์นะครับมี27คะแนนนี่ครับอยู่อันดับ13นิวคาสเซิลอยู่อันดับ29นะส่วนของไอ้โซนตกชั้นนะครับเวสต์แฮมนะมี14คะแนนนะครับอยู่อันดับ19อันดับ19ก็เบอร์ลี่นะมี12คะแนนแล้วก็อันดับ20วูฟแฮมป์ตันนะครับมี6คะแนนนะก็ประมาณนี้นะครับเพื่อนๆโอ้โหวันนี้ไม่คิดเลยผมจะหลับอยู่แล้วมันบอลมันน่าเบื่อเพื่อนแต่เชลซีก็ถือว่าต้านได้ดีนะที่ไม่เสียลูก2อ่ะเอาจริงเชลซีอ่ะต้านได้ดีมากเลยโดยไม่เสียลูก2อ่ะโอ้โหสุดยอดไม่เสียลูก2เฉยเลยอ่ะเอาดิเชลซีก็ทำได้ว่าไม่เสียลูก2ก็ขอบคุณมากเชลซีที่ยันเสมอซิตี้ได้นะครับแล้วก็ทำให้อาร์เซนอลนำห่าง6คะแนนเลยสุดยอดเดี๋ยวเรามาดูแมตช์ต่อไปนะครับเพื่อนๆน่าจะเป็นคืนวันพุธนะครับเพื่อนๆคืนวันพุธก็จะมีสเปอร์เจอบอร์นมัธเบนฟอร์ดเจอซันเดอร์แลนด์คริสตัลพาเลซเจอแอสตันวิลล่าเอเวอร์ตันเจอวูฟฟูลแลมเจอเชลซีแมนซิตี้เจอไบรตันเบอร์ลี่เจอแมนยูนิวคาสเซิลเจอเจอลีดยูไนเต็ดนะครับแล้วก็คืนวันพฤหัสนะครับอาร์เซนอลเจอลิเวอร์พูลโอ้โหบิ๊กแมตช์อีกแล้วนะครับช่วงนี้เตะกันดูเดือดนะเดือนมกราเนี่ยเตะกันโอ้โหทีมละ6-8แมตช์อะเพื่อนถ้าทีมที่เข้ารอบลึกก็จะได้เล่น6-8แมตช์อะนะครับสำหรับไอ้นี่นะอย่างอาร์เซนอลนี้ก็เตะ8นัดอะแมนซิตี้เตะ8นัดเงี้ยทีมที่เข้ารอบลึกๆกันเพื่อนก็ประมาณนี้นะครับเพื่อนๆเดี๋ยวคืนวันพุธเจอกันนะครับคือวันพุธเจอกันเดี๋ยวดูอีกทีว่าจะไล่คู่ไหนนะเพื่อนจะไล่คู่ซิตี้ไบรตันแหละแล้วก็คือพฤหัสอาร์เซนอลลิเวอร์พูลนะครับวันนี้ไปก่อนราตรีสวัสดิ์สวัสดีครับเพื่อนๆพี่ๆนะขอบคุณมากครับจากใจแฟนเชลซีขอบคุณเลย ขอบคุณจากใจแฟนอาร์เซนอลขอบคุณเชลซีมากนะครับที่ยันเสมอซิตี้ได้ไปก่อนเพื่อนพี่ๆราตรีสวัสดิ์สวัสดีครับพี่ๆบ๊ายบายจุ๊บ